it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday night, anyway. Welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. So tonight is a little different. I just kind of actually decided to hop on because I feel like I'm piecing some things together and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And type it in chats or not doesn't always work out very well. So I want to preface this by this is not a Delphi live. There's no thumbnail on it because I wasn't going to put the girls on it. This is about the Delphi case, but the social media side of it. So this is not a Delphi case live, if that makes sense. So if you are not somebody who is even in the know about what's going on, this is probably not the live for you. I'm not even really in the know. We're doing this live so we can actually try to figure the fucking thing out because I'm tired of the fighting and being put into situations that I don't even know what the fuck's happening. So I think I finally have a little bit of understanding, and I may be wrong, which is why we're going live and we're going to do this whole thing together. So just an FYI, if you are somebody who is coming in and you think that this is going to be like an update about the Delphi case itself, you are incorrect. It is not. I am not on here to fight with anybody. So if you guys want to come in and fight with me, I mean, I'm all for it. I typically don't fight with people for my own sanity, not for yours. Let me just tell you. So simple rules, as always, on the channel. I don't care what your opinion is on the case. I don't even care what your opinion is of each other. I just expect you guys to not be assholes. That's literally my only rule. The mods will delete comments that are asshole comments. And I've been known to time out some people or block them from the channel if the assholes continue. So let me say hi to you guys real quick. And then we're going to get into some stuff. Maybe put up a banner saying that. Yeah, you know what? That is a great idea. Let me do that really quick. Hold, please. Not a live is not a Delphi case update. It is to discuss drama in the community. So I think that works. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Nope, I don't want that, I want that, I want that. Nope, I want that. See if that works. Ha, did it. Did it. Okay, let me see how do you guys. Yep, top chat check. Shit, tongue twister. Top chat check. Okay. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Unindicted. Hi, Kaleidohope. Hi, Tatiana. Hi, Mother of Dragons. Hi, Christy. What's up, Streets? Hi, Hoodis. What's up, Indiana Girl? Hi, Kat, Jamie. Hi, True Seeker. Hi, Candy. It's obvious people are going too far after other people went too far, and as a result, it all went too far. I got bored. So let's try to track it back. Let's try to track it back and see what's what. We'll see what's what. Hey, JJ. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Luis. Hi, Honeybee. Hi, Donnie. Hi, Withal. I already talked to you a little bit, but I'll say hi to you anyway. DB. I don't even know. Does that matter? I don't even know if that matters. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys kind of where I'm at. And then if you guys have information that I don't have, hi, Scottish Queen. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Starlight Ann. If you guys have information I don't, because I'm sure there's plenty of information I don't have. I finally feel, after I just got done watching Rick Snay with Curious Luke on Rick's channel, and I feel like I actually have more of a basis for understanding the bottom line, or the beginning of the end, if you will. So I want to kind of talk about that. I don't follow the drama and don't really care about it. Yeah, who does? That's totally fine. That's why I want to give the disclaimer, because if it's not something that you want to listen to, by all means, my feelings are not hurt. I love you to pieces no matter what. So yeah, get your popcorn, because I think it goes deep. I was like, damn, I think I need like a chart, like, to keep track of this, because it seems like it, I mean, it runs pretty deep. Jen, are you? You're wearing your criminality shirt? The lack of transparency has led us to this point. Not one person is the problem here. It's been a mess from the beginning. Well, I agree with that when it comes to the whole fucking Delphi case. So I don't, but how are we blaming each other for what the state of Indiana has caused for all of us? I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think much got fixed. The video just filled me on what was going on. That's where I'm at. Like, I was kind of, I think the last Delphi live that I did was a few weeks ago at this point, when we went over exhibits. And I gave this update on my Karen Reed live today. We did get the thumb drive finally. There's only a few new things that were on it that we haven't gotten from the thumb drives that have been sent out to other people, because, you know, we've been compiling all the exhibits into one Google Doc. And so on the new thumb drive, we got the two drone videos, one from Mears parking lot to the south end of the bridge, and the other one is from Freedom Bridge to the south end of the bridge. I posted both of those on the channel. There was one new CV, which is just like the history of one of the experts that testified that we didn't have before, which I don't even know if anybody's even reading those at this point. And then we got one map from Rayleigh Voorhees when she went in to give her first interview. So that was new for us, for exhibit purposes. What I did was go through and eliminate things that we got over, whether it was from case by case or Tammy's or from the other ones. I went through my missing list and kind of updated that. And then Tammy is taking that and sending in the request, because what's on that list should be everything that's unsealed. It is primarily anything to do with the Bridge Guy video. That's the first and foremost. Anything to do with the Bridge Guy video as an exhibit in trial, nobody's getting, no matter what alteration it is or not. And that's going to be important, because we're going to talk about that during this drama part of the whole situation. Anything to do with Dan Doolin and the tip. They do not want us to have the tip. Let me just tell you guys. They don't want us to have any info about the tip. They want to keep the tip to themselves. I mean, I get it, but sometimes you have to share the tip info. You just have to. So there's like a couple categories it really seems that they're keeping from the public, and those are not things that should be sealed. Everything that is sealed should only have to do with crime scene photos and autopsy photos. So, okay, sorry, I was not checking chat. Hi, Spugs. I heard you were telling people to suck your dick. I was like, fuck yeah, you were. Tell them, girl. This might be a Dr. Pepper. It is. So during Karen Reed, I was very good and I only drank 7-Up. And now I'm like, fuck this. On Rick's live, I was like, I gotta crack a Dr. Pepper. Like, I don't have a choice. I have to. So hi to everybody that just popped in. If somebody does come in and they want to come up, just give me a holler and I will have no problem. I'll send you guys a link. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, because that was the other thing I was kind of asking for over there was, can I get a list of like who's on what side? Because like I kind of just talk to people that I like, no matter what side of things they're on. I mean, I talk to people who think Richard Allen's completely guilty. I talk to people who think he's completely innocent. I just kind of talk to whomever I like. So I'm like, can I get like a list, like who's on what side? Like, where does everybody, like, do I have to choose a side? Does it come down to that? Like, where are we at with this whole thing? So, but I can tell you, that listening to Rick and Luke talk probably gave me the clearest picture of where things are right now, I think. But I'm gonna say my piece, and then you guys can, like I said, if you have info that I don't, because I'm sure you do. I do not watch a lot of this stuff, so I'm gonna tell you what I do know. I'm gonna tell you, and then you guys can fill me in on what I don't know. Do a poll. What do you want the poll to be? I'll do a poll. I do love a good poll. If I can't have the tip, I should be able to have at least a poll, right? Hi, Jaded. Polls and tips, baby. Polls and guilty or innocent. Okay, let's see like what people in here think. Okay, we can do that. I feel like my channel at this point is probably very biased. You know, I'm at the point where I believe that Rick Allen is innocent. I don't think he actually had anything to do with anything. That took a long time for me to get there, but that's where I'm firmly stand there right now. So something else would have to happen major for me to go the other way. And I just don't think the state of Indiana has it. So I can get my keyboard to want to type. Break the thing. Do you think Rick Allen is guilty, but only a part? Innocent, guilty of everything, or no? Okay, there you go. So your options. Do you think that Rick Allen is guilty, but he was only a part of it, and there's other people that are still out there? Do you think that he's innocent? Do you think that he's guilty of everything? Or you just don't have a fucking clue, and you're just like, I'm just here to hang out because I like all you peeps. Hey, Garbo. Jaded. I've been lost in the Diddy case too, until Ems came and got me hooked on Holly freaking Bobo. Okay, hi Dom. Hey Sharon. Free Rex, free Sarah Boone. Fuck no, dude. Fuck no, leave them where they are. Okay, so let's go back in time. Let me kind of think of when. I think we determined that it was March 12th. So March 12th. And if it's not March 12th, let me look. Hey, Charmaine. I miss you, girl. Yeah, don't fight with each other. I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. Just don't, block the person, ignore the person, whatever. Unless you're a mod, if you block them, then you block them from the channel. So don't do that unless you absolutely have to. Then feel free. That's what you're a mod for. Okay, so March 12th, somebody, and I don't even remember who it was. I could probably go back and figure it out. Somebody sent me a link to the Rick Allen Justice website where a video had been posted of Bridge Guy. And then at the same time, I think somebody said Sleuthy just posted the video. This is very, very close together. So like they're coming in at the same time. And so she posted the video on Twitter. So I went to Twitter, I downloaded the video from Twitter, and I put it up as a short on my channel. And that was March 12th. Okay. Hi, Ange. Hi, Miss B. Hey, Sunflower. Hey, Mrs. Legs. Hi, Hess. Okay, so March 12th. I put it up as a short. I scheduled a live to go ahead and talk about it. Now, I've been told, and I don't know if this is accurate. So once again, if I say something that's inaccurate, please help me correct it. I only want to give the right information. I have been told that at some point I talked to Ange and Ange sent people to my channel or something along those lines. I just want to clarify, Ange and I had zero communication at this point. The only person I had talked to was Sleuthy to tell her I was about to do a live on the video that she had just posted on Twitter. I don't even know if I actually told my Delphi chat that I was planning on doing the live. So there was no communication. Nobody was sent to me under a grand conspiracy. I just want to clarify that if anybody thinks that that's what happened. Don't even know if that's a big deal in the scheme of things. Just want the truth out there. So March 12th, I do this live. Sleuthy and I go over it. I don't know anything about the origin of it. And if you go back and watch it, you'll see that I don't know anything about the origin of where this video comes from. It was on a website and Sleuthy posted it from the website. You know, in my thought process, it was posted from Sleuthy or from the website to Sleuthy's Twitter. Okay. She's much more tech savvy than I am on being able to get that. I couldn't get it off the website. I got it off of Twitter. So anyway, so Sleuthy and I go live, and you can see while we're live, like I'm trying to figure out what this video is. People are asking me like throughout the live, like, where did this come from? What is it? Is it the original? Is it the is it one of the enhanced ones? Is this the one that was played in court? If you watch the entire live, you'll see at no point during the live do I know what video this is, besides people in chat checking the metadata. And the metadata, now I've been talking to Luke too much, apparently now I sound like I'm from London, checking the metadata and sending it to me, which I end up pulling up. And I think there was 2 people that were doing it and sending it to me in my email. And I was pulling it up during the live, trying to figure it out. So the video from the website, when we were looking at the website that day, it simply said that this is the original. I don't remember the exact words that it used because I know it like updated like a couple days later. But it was like this is the original from Libby's phone. And it was like a defense team thing. I can even go back to the live and probably look, or somebody in chat may actually remember it verbatim. So that was pretty much like the end of it. We did this live and we talked about the video, and we at that point we were like, we can't, like, I have no idea. I can't prove that this is the original video from Libby's phone. I have no way to validate that. I'm not involved in it, like, you know, in it being posted. So I have no way to validate any of this. So then people were talking about that this has to be the enhanced one. And this is including some of the people that were in the courtroom that day. They were saying, hey, like, this is not what we saw in the courtroom. I don't know if it's because now we're able to watch it like on repeat and we can see the differences, or if it's because what they showed in court was not the same video, or if it has to do with, you know, they watched, 43 seconds in court and they were like, holy shit, this is just, who knows what it just, we can't even hardly see it because we're sitting in the courtroom and we don't know. I have no idea. I was not in the courtroom. So I can't answer that question. So I can't answer or validate that it comes off of Libby's phone. I can't validate that it was the one that was shown in court. I don't know how, I don't know any of those things, but I can tell you that multiple people who were sending me emails checking the metadata from different sites that they use to look at things like that, all matched identical. And it all showed the February the 13th, 2017. And it all showed that it originated over by the high school. It was not at the high school. And on the live, we talked about the fact that it was, where it was. We pulled it up on the map. We showed exactly what the longitude and the latitude was. And we went from there. And though I don't think all those people behind the scenes were sending me something that was false. Like, they weren't all conspiring behind me to make this thing a thing. Okay. You know what I mean? To like create this metadata. I mean, if they were, like, fucking more power to them, they were fast. That was fast conspiracy stuff. So it was super simple. Like, I'm like, okay, so this pretty much shows me the most I can prove of what we have currently. Like, what we're looking at, everybody who's pulling metadata from their own sites shows that if this is from the 13th, this is the original BG video. It is the 43 seconds long. And that's about the extent of where I can go with it, right? So I don't know how else to prove anything when it comes to that. Now, what I do know is, so I want to bring up. So you're gonna have to bear with me for a hot second. So not soon after the video was released, I know that Prof had posted on his community wall. Wait a minute. Luke, do you not have my live where I was up with you? Luke, where's my live? Here, I'll drop a link. Luke, did you take down that live? Because I was totally going to play my portion. So I didn't have to repeat it all. Is it gone? Hold on. Maybe I'm not looking at the right place. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I think I found it. I think this is it. Okay. And let me pull up this so I can pull up the link. So I'm trying to go in order from what I know. So that way if people can fill in blanks in that order. I'm trying not to skip around. So just want you guys to know, if you do come up, I kind of want you to go with that. So like we can kind of stick with the, because otherwise this is way confusing. This is way confusing for me. And so, I mean, I can imagine that it's way confusing for other people too. So that is the link. And this is the video. Okay, so at one point, Prophet posted on his community wall that he had received a copyright claim from Gray Media. A copyright claim from Gray Media on the Bridge Guy video. So somebody had screenshotted it and was like, hey, do you guys know anything about this? I think somebody actually asked me, like in my Delphi chat, like, do you know what this is? Like, you know, you're a creator. Do you understand like what's going on? And I'm like, yeah, it's really not a big deal. It's super simple. Like it's basically like a bot, like AI comes through, and I mean, I'm not super tech savvy, so I may say the wrong terms, and Luke will get me for it. But they just kind of, it comes through and it just does like a sweep, and it says, okay, like this matches and this doesn't. I'm going to go further into that in just a hot second. So they were like, well, can you tell Prof? Because, you know, people watch my channel, people watch Prof's channel. Like, you guys know I could give a fuck where you go or who you watch. Like, I just don't care. It means nothing to me. Like I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you watched so-and-so, or you said hi to so-and-so and now I'm never speaking to you again. I just don't. I don't have time for that. I would never be able to talk to anybody because there's a lot of people I don't care for, but I don't want you guys to not care for those people because I don't care for those people, if that makes sense. So until it like becomes like an outrageous thing. Okay, now I'm gonna have to figure out Twitter. So somebody was like, well, can you like tell Prof like that like this is no big deal? And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, let me try to figure out how to do that. Now, okay, so will Twitter, if I go to my replies, is it by date? It is. Okay. Or is there a way on Twitter, you guys, that I can find something like super fat? Oh, hey, you guys are in the back. Hi, you guys.
Hey.
Twitter peeps. Is there a way that I can go like quickly and find my reply from like March? Or do I have to scroll through all of my replies?
Luke, stop stealing my thunder.
Oh my God. Shaboogies, tell the lady what she needs to do.
Now, see, Sluthy's got me so much on Twitter that now I a year ago I would have had like 2 replies. Now I'm on there like every day. The fuck? Hold on. So it's gonna take me forever. I want to find something that I replied to in March. Is there an easy way to do it? Do an advanced search on X with the @ you're looking for. Oh, fuck me. I have no idea. What? How do I know what the ad I'm looking for is? Like because I respond, like I have @prof. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where do I go to an advanced search? You guys are like, you're a fucking idiot, Teresa.
You have to do a normal search. You have to do a normal search first, and then there's like a little gear icon next to it. You click that, and then there's advanced search.
Go.
So if I go @prof or @theprof, I think it is. Or no. I probably would have had better luck if I just kept scrolling like a normal person. You guys and your fancy gadgets.
I'm going to leave you to Spoogies, but just to let you know that Grey Media wrote me back today. The general counsel wrote me back.
Can you tell me what they said?
Yeah, there's a post. If you go to my Twitter, you'll see it there. I posted a screenshot of it.
Okay, let me figure this out, and then I'll go to your Twitter. Okay,
bye.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you, Luke. Okay, so hold on. Let me see. If I go to my replies, I told you guys this was very impromptu. I have nothing prepared, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Did I see Ruckus? Where's Ruckus? Ruckus! Hi, Ruckus Rocks. Long time no see. Okay, I'm gonna go to my replies. Okay, here's me. Here's my replies. Right? Here's my replies. I think I would just have better. I think I'm just gonna scroll, you guys. Let me just scroll. Let me just do it like an old person, okay? I'm not down with all the shabusiness. Just bear with me. Shboogies, tell him a joke or something. Dude, did you really tell somebody to suck your dick?
Business.
Did you?
Oh no, not on the spot.
Did you say SMD to somebody?
Oh no. So I was gonna tell you, Rick said that to me. No.
Oh,
Rick said that to me.
I thought you said it to Rick. I was like, fuck yeah, I love her. She's like, suck my dick. I was like, hell yeah. She's like, I'm not putting up with this. Okay. Let me. I'm there.
But I would. That's some shit I would say. So.
Yeah. Okay. See, now I got all this stuff with Fiend in here about bullets and stuff. Okay, I'm in the middle of April. I'm getting closer, guys. Just stay there. Just stay where you are. Get yourself a Dr. Pepper if you need to, but other than that, just stay there. We're gonna get to it. Maybe. Okay. No. We're getting closer. You guys are probably going to find my response before I ever do it, and I'm not watching chat, so I have no idea. You guys are going to be like, here, I'll just send you the fucking link to your reply because I already found it. But this is going to teach you guys a good life lesson for all you younger folk. It's called patience. Nope. Okay, so here, this is part of it. Okay, let me bring this over here and then show you guys. Oh, I lost Bugs. I lost you for a hot minute. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Hi, Keith. Forgot. See, I told you guys were going to find it. Okay, so here. So somebody's like in my Facebook chat, because I have a Delphi group, like a community group for my Facebook group. And so somebody's like, can you tell Prof? And so I was like, oh, okay, let me go figure out what's going on. So this is on, I don't even know if I don't even dare click on it, because I feel like I'm going to probably click the wrong thing and then have to go back and scroll again. So I'm like, I'm curious if it was a strike or a copyright claim. We continue this conversation. And so here I'm trying to say, like, this channel, WNDU TV, channel 16.1, 16.2, is an NBC affiliated television station located in South Bend, Indiana, United States. The station is owned by Gray Television Group Inc. This is who struck the Prof. So I tag him. I think that's his tag. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it is. So this is March 14th. So I'm like, this all has to do with WNDU. So like, I tell my Facebook chat, like, it's all very common. This is totally normal, not a big deal. Like, don't stress about it. Like, it's just not a big deal. Because it's just a news station who's doing it. Now, we can go with a side issue that we do talk about when I go on to Luke's, is that obviously WNDU doesn't own anything to do with the video. They don't have anything to do with the video. They don't own it. So like, I can go in and fight anything that there is. So now I'm going to show you my explanation of this, because it's way easier. I already did the explanation. I don't want to have to do it again. So I'm going to show you when I go up on Luke's how I explain it. So March 14th, I'm already saying, like, not a big deal. This is WNDU. There's nothing to do with Gray Media being like a cop-owned thing. Like, I squash it, no big deal, done, right? Because somebody had said today in Rick's chat, like, I wish that somebody would have said this sooner. I'm like, I did. I said it like right when it was all going down. Okay, so let me find where I'm up here. And Bugs is up here too. You're gonna see how cute she is. I don't even know what time.
Oh God, no! Don't look.
Yeah, I should like zoom in just on it.
No.
Hi, John. Okay, so I pop into Luke's, and Judge Jessica's on there, Keith is on there, Spugs is on there, and I'm like, okay, like they were talking about something. I'm like, I actually know a little bit about this. Like, can you drop me a link? And they were kind enough to give me a link and let me come up and show my stuff. So now I'm just going to replay that for you so that I don't have to say it all again.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for letting me come up real quick. I wanted to show you, since you were talking about this, and I was actually going to show it when I did a Delphi live. So it worked out really well that you're here. Is it okay if I share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, the reason I was going to talk about it is because I've gotten like 7 messages. Dom, you're so funny. I love you. Don't even worry about it. Because I had gotten a bunch of messages from people like apologizing to me. And I'm like, what are you apologizing for? Like, what's going on? Like, just like, if you're dragged in, because apparently I'm being tagged in things or talked about in things, and I don't know it. So they're like, I'm sorry that this is happening. Like, I feel responsible. And I'm like, one, I don't even know it's happening. So it can't be like that bad. Like, so don't apologize to me, because I just don't care enough to be trying to figure it all out. And I think I said that on my Delphi live before. So then this keeps coming up over and over. Like, I'm getting multiple messages from people. And I'm like, what the fudge? What is going on? My last Delphi live. So I want to talk about this, and then I'll continue to play the clip. My last Delphi live, there was a few people in chat, and I don't even know if I can remember all of them. I don't even know if I can remember all the ones that were in there, but Adrian had come in, and if you guys know, like, my history with Adrian is I've always found her to be, she was always very kind to me. She's always been a sweetheart. I've gone to her live. She's gone to mine. She's been on my channel. So all of this, whatever's happening with like Adrian and other people that I'm friends with, I didn't know anything about it at that point. And so that's when I was like, I don't know enough to know why people in my chat are fighting, why Adrian's fighting with people in the chat and people are fighting with Adrian, because like from where I stood at that moment, I'm like, this is like, whoa. So I was very taken back, and I was like, okay, like, please stop. I don't want anybody fighting. Like, just let it go. Fight, like, go somewhere else and fight, because I don't know enough information to like pick a side or say who's right or wrong. And so I ended up, I personally timed out all the people that were involved in it. Like, I signed in, no mods did it. There was not a wrench that did it. I personally did it, and I just timed everybody out to give me a chance to like go, holy shit, like what is going on? Because I didn't know why anybody was fighting. So there was multiple people that were in this like mini argument in my chat. And it was not personal that I timed anybody out in particular. It was simply because I was overwhelmed and I didn't understand why people were fighting with other people that I liked. And so I was like, I have to stop this. And I still don't to this day know exactly what all has transpired. So if I miss something on that end, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know. I know some things now that I didn't know then, but not everything. So anyway, so that was what happened the last Delphi Live. So then I'm getting all of these messages about like people apologizing for the fighting in the chat, people apologizing for me being tagged in or talked about in posts and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I appreciate the apology, but it's not important. And so then this is one of the things that was brought up to me was that I had said in my Delphi chat about this copyright claim. Like I had explained it in my chat, but I never bothered to tell Prof. And I was like, but I did tell Prof. I mean, I tagged him on Twitter. Like we don't communicate. Like Prof and I aren't friends. I don't watch Prof. I don't think Prof watches me. That's my personal preference. And by no means is that anything that you have to choose to do. So I just, it is what it is. It's my personal preference. So I was like, okay, I just tagged him on Twitter. That's where people told me to go and that it was being discussed. So that's where I went. Okay, so now I was like, I'll talk about it on my next Delphi Live. Well, I haven't had a Delphi Live since, but Luke was, and they were talking about the situation. So that's how I ended up there and why I said on my next Delphi Live, I would bring it up so that I could clear the air on the blocking thing, because apparently that upset some people, which it was not, like I said, it was not personal. It was for my own, well, it was personal. It was for my own personal sanity at that moment. And then it was about this that I never bothered to tell Prof, but I told people in my chat about it. I was like, okay, I don't understand, but okay. So this is the explanation. So I'm going to let this play and I'm going to drink some Dr. Pepper while it does. Okay, Jaded, I'll stop by again. Good to see you, T. Great to hear your voice. We should talk Diddy, Jaded. We should talk Diddy. Did he do it? I did. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad that you're like doing stuff on your channel. So I did get this copyright claim from the same company. You guys are going to start to see some of my back end stuff. So just, you know, just look at what I'm telling you to look at, not all the other things. Okay.
Don't look anywhere else. Okay.
Don't look anywhere else except for where I tell you to.
T,
I
do
don't
you
want to
think
see
you can,
your freaky folders. Sorry.
do you think you could highlight what we should look at? I think that would help me a lot.
I'm not Luke. I have no idea. I will try. Okay, so if you want to put my screen up, then I'll show you guys. Yeah, I'm going to show you my back end. Okay, so I tried to explain this when he went and was all over Twitter about the whole thing and how it all works on the back end of YouTube. So I was sent the Bridge Guy video in the website. I was sent the link to the website. And then somebody told me that Sleuthy had posted it on Twitter. So I went and grabbed it from Twitter and posted it to the channel as a short while I set up for a live to go in and discuss it. Okay. So the day that it went out on the website, went live, I posted it. So I don't know if you guys can actually see this. Let me try to make it bigger. So I posted it on March 12th. Okay. As a short. So if you see here, like I can monetize it. It's just a short though, because anything that's a short is essentially monetized right off the bat, unless you go in and like unmonetize it. So if you look here, this is where it will tell you like all of my like if you have a copyright on something or if it's not suitable for ads or whatnot. So like all my videos. This is just under my shorts tab. So if you go to the one that's the Bridge Guy video, if you see, it says there's shorts policy, but there's no restriction to it. So your shorts visibility and ad revenue are not affected. The copyright protected content detected doesn't affect your shorts due to the shorts monetization policy. Okay, so if I go in here to see details of this, it says what happened was I received a copyright claim.
Does it tell you from him?
Oh yeah, it will. Yeah, sorry, I had an itch. I had to scratch. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So it says the copyright claim is on your. You got an itch, you got to scratch it, you guys. Come on, like you guys all know. Your video does not affect your channel. It is not a copyright strike. So anybody who knows anything about YouTube, you know that you have strikes and you have claims. I get claims on all kinds of stuff. Half of the Karen Reed shit is claimed, and I have to go in and like ask for them to review it, and sometimes they will, and sometimes they won't, and it doesn't get ad revenue. It is just how YouTube is. It's just one of the things you deal with. I have, like one time I played Britney Spears in the middle of like a 4-hour live. Don't ask me why. It was just what the topic was at the time. And the Britney Spears channel automatically came in and copyright claimed it. So what they do in a claim is they can take the ad revenue, or they can take, they can want to share the ad revenue with you. If it's a really long stream like that, they'll just say, we're going to share the ad revenue and you're going to have to split it with us. So half of it will go to one place and half of it will go to you. So down here, it tells you, this is who it's saying that you copyrighted, you have copyright material from. So it tells you like the name of the video. So when he had originally put this on Twitter, it was, he had like, I guess he had posted it on his page too. I don't know, but I saw it on Twitter. And so it tells you like the name of the video that's copyright claiming you. So I can go into that video and see details of who it is that's copyright claiming me. So the name of the video is Delphi Murders, the full unedited video recorded on Liberty German's iPhone 6s. My content matches the same as their content, 0 seconds to 43 seconds. So, and it says like it's audio visual. The claimant, if you can see, is who?
Grey Media, yeah.
On behalf of who?
WNDU. Yeah, I figured that was their local station.
It is. So then you have, here's their video. It's obviously just the Bridge Guy video. They can't take anything from me anyway. Even if they chose to, I posted the video before them. So if there even was a copyright claim, it would be from me to them, not vice versa. But it doesn't do anything to me. It's just going to sit there like that, and it affects me none. So what happens is it is a bot per se. It's right. That it's just it just goes out and finds it. So I'm going to show you guys this too. I'm going to move this over here and find the right screen, just so I'm not like oversharing like all kinds of crazy stuff. And then people are like, let me just screenshot the shit out of her studio. Right now, the T talking is the T on Luke's live. So you can see if I talk, like there's a little circle around my face on my channel that kind of like bobs. Not what I meant. Not what I meant. Ooh, okay. Otherwise, the little head that's making that little circle around it is the one that's on Luke's. Damn it! Never fails. I fall into these traps. Hi, Kel. I know. You know what? I don't want any of you guys to say that I have a dirty mind. All of you knew exactly what made me laugh. So you're right there with me.
So do you think it would have anything to do with the size of the channel? Because I looked up WNDU and they have 8,000 subscribers.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the size of the channel whatsoever.
No, okay.
I think it's just an algorithm thing that happens. So, for instance, so if I go into there's a tab over here that says here's like all the copyrights. It's not theirs though. No, it's not. And I can go in and I can argue that, and I could show that it doesn't belong to them, and I could go and do this whole thing. My whole point is that talking about how it affects my channel, not who owns the video or anything like that. My whole point is that it affects my channel, none whatsoever. 0% does anything to my channel, does nothing to my ad revenue, does nothing to anything to do with me. Now, if I want to go argue with them that they don't own the video and so on and so forth, I can do that. Do you see what I mean? Like, so for me purposely, it doesn't.
Yeah, so no impact, but it's odd.
It is odd. But it's not uncommon when it comes to news channels, which is why I was going to show you this. And it probably doesn't even have all of them on here anymore. It doesn't look like it does.
Have you had that before for something else?
Yes. So like the comments that are coming up on the screen right now are the comments from Luke's live, just an FYI. So don't start saying hi to the people who are popping up on the screen because they're not necessarily in this chat. Not from that particular place, but yes. So like I have a clip of from the Idaho murders, I have a clip of the grub truck. So it tells me that my video is taken from, 90% of this other person's video when it isn't. It's not from them. It's literally directly from the grub truck. Do you see what I mean? So it has nothing. It affects me, again, none whatsoever.
Right.
And it sounds like it's very common.
Yeah, common and
yes,
like kind of an error. It's like almost a slippage.
It just yeah, and if it affects my channel, so it's like different. Like if I go to like a copyright strike, which is different, which is what when Sleuthy and I were live and we were discussing the drip of leaks for Delphi, and Murder Sheet decided to strike me in the middle of my live. That is a copyright strike. They copyright struck that video. So that went against my channel as a copyright strike. I had to go in and I had to fight it and show why I had the right to fair use and so on and so forth. And obviously won, and then the copyright strike gets removed because I won the copyright strike. Now, when they came again the following year and copyright struck the transcript read-throughs, I never even went. I was going to go fight it. And I was like, I just don't really care. I just don't care enough about these people to spend this much time going through this again. I had other stuff going on in my life at that point, and I just let it go. So that strike will sit there on my channel for 90 days, and I can go to like copyright school to get rid of it. But that's the biggest difference between copyright claims and copyright strikes, number one. And the copyright claims, I can go argue. I can go argue with whoever this is, KTVB, that, hey, just because we used the same information doesn't mean you own that clip.
Yeah, I wonder how YouTube's tech works, because it could be that that YouTube's tech is making an assumption rather than there actually being any real.
It can.
Well, clearly, there isn't a legal issue. There isn't a copyright issue with this video. We know this. It could just be that YouTube's AI works the wrong way and it builds assumptions into its calculations or something.
Right. So that was like my thing when the whole thing happened with that copyright claim from Gray Media. I tried to like say, hey, no, it will tell, like if you go in, it'll tell you. I can find him, I tweet on it where I actually tag him, and I'm like, no, you can just go in, it'll tell you exactly who it is. Just because like a news station is owned by somebody who owns something else, and like it's just not that deep because it's just a YouTube thing. It's not like I've been through it multiple times. It's just not that big of a deal.
And am I right in saying like YouTube's not even saying you can't keep the video up?
No, I have the video up. Like you can go watch it on my channel. They're not even taking the monetization away. I mean, it's a 43-second video, so I'm not making, I made a penny off of 2,000 views, if even.
Right. So it's not even a matter of like, it was just a notice of like, hey, just so you know, this isn't your intellectual property, right? I mean,
right. That somebody else has this. And because of who they are, because they're a news station, it automatically wants to like let me know. Now, does everybody who posted that like get the same thing? I don't think so. I don't think everybody who's posted the grub truck video has gotten the exact same thing either. Why it picks and chooses, I don't know. But it just it doesn't affect me, so I just don't have the time to like dive into it and make it into something that it isn't, because it's just not that big of a deal on the YouTube spectrum.
What a great moral compass to have. I don't know.
Imagine that.
So, and like I said, I mean, I posted the video before that news site even posted the video. So
right.
Yeah, meow. This is a good point. It could be something like first poster, or like
it's not though, because I posted it before they did.
Okay, interesting.
I can actually go back and show you when they posted theirs. Let me go back to that. Real quick.
There'll be some calculation in there that gives the system a warped or like a wrong.
Probably. So let me go. I'll show you.
But also to go from that to saying that I therefore work on behalf of some random police force in Indiana. I mean, come on.
That's
Yeah,
a bit of a leap.
that's just, unless you're out here trying to copyright claim the video on my channel, I just don't understand what benefit you get from any of that. So here is their video. And I could just click on it. Maybe I can't. I guess I have to actually go to that channel.
Y'all, fucking Prof is doing that thing on his channel where he like reads phrases
This is still from Luke's, FYI. So we're still watching Luke's.
to you and like tries to explain to you like you're fucking 5 what
So
different
theirs was
words
posted on
mean.
theirs was posted on March 14th, and you saw that mine was posted on March 12th.
On the day. Yeah, I remember.
Interesting.
So it's not, it just doesn't have anything to do with who was first, who did it before anybody else. It doesn't. It just has a weird, why it does what it does. Fuck, and that's not in my realm of, that's way above my pay grade. That's closer to yours, Luke.
It's a rogue bot.
Well, have a Snickers, Teresa.
I will.
I appreciate you explaining that because I did not know that, but it's interesting.
Okay, so I hope that kind of explains the copyright claim versus the copyright strike, number one, and that there's a difference for YouTube. I've kind of gone over it a little bit when I've gotten copyright stricken, but then it also kind of goes into that this video is not owned by anything to do with this company. Now, Luke said that he actually wrote, because he was very curious on like why this would happen. Like, how does that even come about? So let me go look now on Twitter and see what he posted that their response was. And thank you, Luke, for letting me use your video from your channel so that, but please don't copyright strike me. Okay, thanks. I'll buy you Snickers. Okay, so now let's look at Luke's Twitter. Don't strike T. Okay. Oh, hey, Amanda Knox goes on Joe Rogan? That's good to know. Okay. Where is it?
The video of Erica.
Well, where's the post that I'm supposed to be finding on here? I thought he said he posted it on Twitter. Is it not there, or is it a reply under something that I need to go find? Because you know how I am. What the heck? Hey. Did you post it as a reply? It was on his Twitter. I just seen it earlier. Well, just can somebody tag me in it? Because that's way easier for me to figure out. Oh, fuck, that's funny. Bev sidebar. Even as here, that's hilarious. Hold on, I gotta retweet that because that's funny. As you can tell, I haven't been on Twitter. Cat has it. Well, okay. Well, Cat, I can't get it from you there. Cat, can you send it to me? You do. You have another 40 minutes for me, Lacey. Absolutely. All right, hold on. Then I gotta go back into YouTube because I can't. StreamYard won't let me click it. It's pinned on Spokes. Okay.
God, don't yell at me, Jazz.
Spugs and I are like stalkers. We follow each other.
Oh my God, obsessed until the
Oh, no.
toe shit started.
Oh,
That is.
so obsessed. Okay. It's pinned on yours?
It should be the first pinned post. So the top of my
Yeah.
timeline.
What the fudge? Olio. No, the first thing I have on your timeline is Demi Lovato.
Oh, what the hell? It's unpinned. Oh my God, hold on. Failure.
See, I feel like you guys are trying to set me up. Trying to set me up so that I look like I'm crazy. It says check your notifications. Okay, I'm checking my notifications. And got it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Like, you guys are trying to make me look like I don't know how to use Twitter because I don't know how to use Twitter.
Sorry, I smoked recently.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, love. Okay, so today I received this email from Gray Media's Assistant General Counsel. Let this be the end of any nonsense about copyright, Gray, and related issues to do with the 43-second Bridge Guy video from Liberty German's phone. So it says the video was being automatically flagged as copyright infringement. WNDU was not actively. Luke, seriously? For real? Damn typos. It's an unfortunate typo. WNDU was not actively fagging your video. We have addressed the issue with YouTube to ensure it does not happen again. We trust that this resolves the issue, and so on from. Yeah, it was. Luke, you're probably like, wait a minute, what? Gray reported your channel and you're not even monetized? Damn. I won't fag anybody, I promise. I won't do it. Okay, thank you for tagging me. Okay, perfect. So that's the answer to that. So I just want to say, like, at this point in time when all this has happened, Hella, I totally understand where you're coming from. For me, I feel like today I finally have a basis of understand, like a very basic understanding of what's going on. So it's almost like almost like a light bulb, because
Hella,
I know there's this major tension. Go ahead.
Hella, no offense, but you had 2 whole streams on this topic and you weren't even involved in it. So
Wait, I don't even know that. There's 2 whole streams on it? It'd be better if I talk to people while I'm not on mute so people can actually hear what the hell I'm saying. I said, Osbrook says, Baldwin authorized the release of the video. Please stop suggesting that he didn't. I know that's not to me because I don't suggest that he didn't. I suggest that he did. So, no, I think just the whole thing in general. And I think it's just like I said, for me, so all of this had been like kind of coming about with this video being downloaded to this website, and like who put the video on the website. And that was like, people were like mad because nobody was saying like, quote unquote, who put the video on the website, I guess, and like who owned the website. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's obviously the video, somebody didn't make it with AI. The metadata that everybody had given me, like I said, it already kind of proved to me where the video was from. Now, whether it was Baldwin or Auger or anything at that point, I didn't know any of that. So I was like, I don't know why we are back to real-time tea. Hi, I have Apophis. So I didn't like that. It didn't really matter to me at that moment. I knew it was coming from the defense team, whether it was, from an attorney to, well, now we know like Luke posted it, but like if it was to an attorney to the person who posted it, or if it was an attorney posting it themselves, I don't know. I guess it didn't really matter to me because the whole thing was that everybody was coming at me with the metadata, because when I was live, we didn't know where it came from. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, okay, well, we know that it's coming from this website that's coming from the defense team, because the state's not putting it out. So we knew it wasn't coming from the state. So the only place it could come from was the defense. And as the reason I brought up my list of exhibits and what's missing is because we know to this date, now, he was convicted on November 11th and sentenced in December. We're on May 27th, and to this date, the state has not released anything to do with the Bridge Guy video. Any of their altered ones, any of the real one, any of it. So the state isn't putting it out. So there was no doubt that it came from the defense team. Now, I guess for me, and I can only speak for myself, I didn't understand why it mattered which defense attorney gave it to whom that posted it onto the website. Apparently that was really important to some people. It wasn't to me, so I think this is where I kind of got lost in the whole shuffle of things, because we know it came from the defense team. We know it didn't come from the state. Hi, Tom, I miss you. So I didn't really understand why people were mad. Can you help me there? Because I was like, okay, why does it matter if a defense attorney gave it to Luke, if a defense attorney gave it to Ange, if a defense attorney gave it to Osbrook? I didn't understand. Why is that important?
Because they finally got an answer, and these people then have to find a new way to twist it to say, oh no, your answer is actually not an answer. That's what they fucking do.
Okay, but what does it matter what attorney gave it to whom? We know it's from the defense team. So what
it doesn't matter, but they're trying to make it seem like it fucking matters, like it's some big conspiracy, because they're fucking weird.
Okay, so then I'm learning that there's a contract, which I already learned this part. I just didn't know the depth of it. There's a contract that Michael Osbrook and Kara Winnicke were volunteering their help, and Michael's come up on the channel and kind of talked about this a little bit too, like basically volunteering their help to work on post-conviction relief, which is different than an appeal. They're two very different things, different entities, and the job that needs to be done for each requires different tactics. I mean, it's different investigative skills. You don't see my air quotes, but that's no, you didn't do anything, Tatiana. What are you talking about? So I don't know. It's hard to keep track of chat, so I just hope that everything's going well in there.
I think so. I'm checking.
Okay, because I can't talk, think, and read. It's just it's one of those things. I'm just too old for that. So they were offering to help with post-conviction relief, investigation, and gathering the information in order to get a actual post-conviction relief legal team and group. I mean, like, we talk about Innocence Project. I think that's probably one of the most popular ones. It's not the only one out there, but getting a group that would be able to take over anything that they had done, but starting the post-conviction relief essentially parallel to the appeal in order to get things kind of rolling and see what needed to be focused on for the PCR versus the appeal. So there's like two different avenues happening. So Kara and Michael offer pro bono, free, no money exchanged, to help Kathy Allen and Rick Allen get the ball rolling on the PCR while you have Mark and Stacy doing the appeal. So it's two different attorneys on two different sides working on two different things. That was the offer on the table. They give a contract to Kathy Allen, or Kathy Allen's attorney. They give her the contract, and apparently the contract is not up to par for Kathy, or it's been turned into something that's not up to par for Kathy. That somehow goes from Kathy and her attorney to the two private investigators, which was, I don't even know if are they licensed PIs? And I'm not saying that to be a smartass. I
Not
actually don't
currently,
know.
because in Indiana, you can't be a licensed PI. You have to be employed through an agency.
Okay. So the two people, Erica and Christine, Erica has been on, I'm trying to think of what channel she's been on. No, she's been on Case's channel. And Christine had gone on Gritty's channel, which I haven't seen Gritty forever. She'd gone on Gritty's channel a few times right after trial. Oh, Erica was also, we had watched her interview on Court TV, but right after the sentencing, she went on with Bob on Defense Diaries. And then she went on court TV with Vinny, and we watched her there. And I made the comment, like, I think it's too soon for her to be doing any interviews. It's way too emotional at that point. So information was being put out inaccurately, because when you get emotional, sometimes you just say shit. And that was not a dig at anybody. It was just a fact. So anyway, so these two are apparently had worked for Baldwin under Jason Jensen. Jason Jensen was a licensed PI who was working with the defense team on the case, was no longer working with them. And apparently, according to them, or at least Christine, I think it was, had said that Baldwin had asked if they would stay on and help. And so they did. I don't know anything about if they were supposed to be paid or not paid. When I heard the story originally, they were pro bono. Pro bono means to me you don't get paid. If something changed over time, I have not seen any contracts that changed it or how much they were owed. What I can say is that when it came out that we were being told that they were not paid, we did go back through what the court had been requested to be paid, and Jason Jensen had requested to be paid, but the girls had not. What that means, take it for what you want. I don't know. I've never seen anything that states otherwise. If you guys have something that states otherwise, please let me know.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but I think that Jason Jensen did not put in their hours to be paid. So that never got to the defense team to pay that out. So then he only filed for his and never turned in the hours for them to get their payment, I believe.
Right. That was my understanding as well. So no requests ever went to the court for the court to pay either of them. So they didn't get paid. But like I said, I was under the impression they were pro bono, which would mean they weren't getting paid.
That was prior to Jason Jensen leaving. So once he left, that's when they stepped in and said, we agree to do this pro bono. So any work from that point on, they are not owed anything.
Okay. And I know there's like a lot of personal stuff, like with the Erica side and probably even Christine, but I know I've heard more about Erica's side, and I'm not getting into any of that. It's not relevant to anything to do with this. I mean, I could go to credibility if you wanted to, which I understand, but I don't want to dig into that at all right this second. I just want to talk about when it comes to this case. So I just want to put that out there, because that's all I knew. You can do work as a PI for a lawyer. Do you have to be a licensed PI to do work for a lawyer in Indiana? Do I have to be a licensed PI in Indiana to work for an Indiana lawyer?
No. They don't do PI licenses in Indiana.
Okay. Okay. So I would be like a consulting PI, essentially.
You're the working PI under your agency or your employer or whatever. So in this case, Jason Jensen.
Okay, so because they work under Jason Jensen and he's a licensed PI, they can actively do that, but then they can't. Yes. So they can't go out and PI on their own. No such thing as an official PI in Indiana.
Yeah,
okay.
They can't go out willy-nilly and do it. They have to be working under some authority.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look more into the requirements for that. I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't actually know. I don't know all the requirements, so I'm kind of speaking out of turn on that. But my whole point to it was that my first impression was whatever they were doing for the defense team was pro bono. And then there was the complaints about not being paid. I don't know any contracts that have come out that I have seen where they were supposed to get paid or how much they were supposed to get paid. If those exist, I've not seen them. So I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know any more than that. But to move forward here, then we have these two, or at least one of the two, and the mendacity of it all. At least one of the two is still in contact with Kathy Allen. Spugs is correct via Christine. Okay, well, I would figure Spugs is probably correct anyway. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know. So, where was I going? Where was I at? Bugs, where was I at?
We were chain of custody of the contract, I guess.
Chain of custody of the contract. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the contract goes to apparently from Kathy, her attorney, to at least one of the PIs or whatever you want to call them, Christine.
No, let me step in and say, I believe I've heard they have a copy of it, but we know who gave the contract to Prof. It was Christy C. So Christy C got it from Kathy and gave it to Prof.
Okay, Christy C. Is that Leads with Love?
Yes.
Okay. So not either one. Okay, I thought that was I thought we were saying Christy C. Okay, the good thing that we're talking because hi, Growing Gritty. A good thing we're talking because I was under the impression Christine, and that sounds very much the same as Christy C. So now that that's okay.
No, to own that out loud, Erica and Christine did not give it to him.
Okay. So so we can go down. That takes me down a different path because I was thinking that I'm glad that we said this because I Sleuthy. This was very spur of the moment. It was after Rick and Luke's live, and I was like, I think I've got some pieces. And Sleuthy, you can come up whenever you want to. Okay, so this makes this is different. So Leads with Love, you guys remember Leads with Love is went to a lot of the court hearings, became friends with Kathy Allen. I think somebody told her at one point that she was like the crazy chick with pink hair or something like that, or purple hair. Was it colored hair? And she was, I gotta crack another Dr. Pepper. That's how serious this shit has got.
Yeah, girl.
Okay, so she became friends with Kathy Allen. She's been on all around the YouTube streets. You guys probably, she's been in the Delphi community, blue or purple. It was some color. So, okay, so that actually makes more sense. So then Erica and Christine are not in contact with Kathy?
They are. They're just not who gave it to Prof. According to Christy, she's the one who told someone that she gave it to Prof. So if she says otherwise, then she lied to somebody.
Okay, purple hair. Okay. So that leads into a whole different little side thing, I think. And now you're gonna have to fill me in here because I know very little of this. There is Erica is in contact with Kathy. Christine is not in contact with Kathy. I could easily probably message either one of them. I don't know if they tell me anything, but okay. Keith says Christy on X told me that she did not give the agreement to Prof. Also, still would not clarify who gave it to him or if Kathy knows about this.
Yet she had just prior told someone else that she did do it. But so we don't know if she was lying to that person to like put it out there to like cover for Erica or Christine, but that's what she said.
Okay. So now it's at least one of three.
Right. Yeah, you could say I guess it's still up in the air between all three, but I think I would go with Christy C.
Okay. So, and Hella, I get it. Yeah, do what you got to do, girl. I'll see you on your next stream. Okay. So this contract comes, no matter what, it comes from Kathy to somebody who gives it to Prof.
Correct.
Necessary evil. I'm figuring out because I've never fucking figured it out.
Right.
So this is my attempt at figuring it out, so I can put it to bed and move on with my life. And when people say like, "Hey, I'm sorry this is happening," or "This is what's going on," I at least know what the fuck I'm talking about. and unfortunately, in true crime, and if you've been around true crime on social media for a while, any big case that has multiple creators that follow it or talk about it publicly, it becomes something along these lines. It just does. It's unfortunate, but when there isn't anything coming from the court, and I think, suppose, was it you that said it when you came up, or somebody in chat said it, the lack of transparency from the state of Indiana causes this kind of bullshit. If the videos
Probably
were just
does.
released by the state, like they're quote unquote supposed to do, based on the Freedom of Information Act, we wouldn't even be talking about this anymore. So it is what it is.
Right.
If anybody wants to fight with anybody, they should be fighting with the state of fucking Indiana. But that's my opinion.
Well, with the whole BG video period, like that's look at the data. It's the exact extraction from Libby's phone. If they presented something else at trial, then you need to ask fucking Nick McClellan why he didn't give the original video. But that's the motherfucking original video.
Did you get back with that guy?
Right. So, like, if they didn't play that, if Nick didn't play it in court, then somebody needs to take it up with.
Yeah, with him. Yeah.
Hey, don't dox me. Sorry for your comments. I didn't even see anything bad. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so this contract comes from Kathy to somebody, and that somebody even it could have exchanged a couple of hands because, like you said, chain of custody. We don't know chain of custody on the contract. So what I picked up from the conversation between Luke and Rick on Rick's channel was, this is kind of what it came down to for me. So what I'm seeing this fight kind of stemmed from some people are asking to know which defense attorney, which everybody's already, I think, said Baldwin, but they want to know the legit, like, who, like, Baldwin sent it to who, that person sent it to who, that person sent it to who, or even one person or 10 people, I don't know. And then Luke puts it on the website. So we know the beginning is it coming from Baldwin, but then I think the argument is that nobody's proving it came from Baldwin. And then somebody
No, we
asked,
have now, though. We have now.
proof it?
Yeah, I asked him a question at the end of his interview on Defense Diaries. I paid $10. Thank you very much for the cause. And I asked Andy, is the reason why you pulled back on the BG video because you wanted to protect your client because he's had an active case going on? And he said yes. He shook his head yes and said protecting her was the most important thing.
Okay, let me go find that so we can play it. Do you know when it was?
You can find it on my profile. I'll tag you in it real quick. Hold on.
Okay. Are you tagging me on Twitter? Everybody should contribute at least like a penny to Schbugs because that $10 is definitely important for the community. We all will contribute. Hey, Counting Sheep. Oh, no worries. QAnon did it. Okay, hold on. I think. Did I get?
Oh my God, I really can't find it.
Okay. Well, what time was it that he was on there? Because I mean, was it when he was on to discuss the other case?
Yes.
So it was just like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. Bob, don't come striking me. Okay, so it was towards the end.
Oh, I found it.
Well, now I'm already in here.
Well, it's too bad.
We'll see who gets there first.
And
dang it, you already did it, didn't you? Did you tag me?
yep.
I have a biscuit eating bulldog. Okay, hold on. There it is. Okay. All right, let me share this. Yeah, where is Bob? Where is Bob anyway? Okay.
It's a lot like
Yeah.
Andy and Brad.
Yeah.
But I think that she's thinking, or he's thinking, no, she's thinking that you were trying not to smile with Gull, so you were being, like, I'm not supporting what's being said here. Shaboogies. Oh no, she changed it. She's Shaboogs.
Boogs.
Shaboogs. Andy, did you pull back on the BG video to protect Allison?
Protecting Allison was of the utmost importance to me.
All right. Well,
Yep.
there you go. Very insightful, Shaboogs. So, I know some-
Okay.
She
So,
called me insightful.
so he pulled back on the BG video to protect the client that he was defending in front of Judge Gohl just a few weeks ago.
Correct, because that would be, he is like actively presenting a case in front of her. That would be such a horrible, unprofessional look.
Okay. Well, that actually, I mean, it does make sense. I just wish that that had been the thought beforehand when it should have been, this website is created in order to put out all the exhibits from trial. And it was only going to be the exhibits from trial. That was my understanding. Nothing else, nothing, not discovery, none of those things. It was just going to be the exhibits from trial, which is exactly, and not anything that was sealed by Judge Gohl. So
Correct.
not crime scene photos, not autopsy photos. It was supposed to only be exhibits that would be available to the public or requested by the state, but in putting them in a local spot, which is what we were all asking for, was we all have to pay $25 for a thumb drive for Jody to pick and choose what she's going to put on it. So remember, this came out before anybody had gotten anything from the state. Now, if anybody even thinks to look back on that, look at what the state has done now. They sent some black and white shoddy ass photos to Tom Webster, who was the first one to get his thumb drive, right? And then everybody's like, those aren't even like legit. That's not what was shown in court. Then they send some of the info to Babs for court TV. Not even everything that she requested. Susan Hendricks gets other exhibits. We don't know what she requested. Then we get Case. Did somebody else get one in between there? I might be missing somebody. Case by Case gets a thumb drive, and it has more stuff and less stuff. So, and Case requested everything essentially the same as Tammy requested, and then Tammy requests and still doesn't get everything she requested. Cancel the transcript request that she still needs to do for you. Why? Who does? Is somebody going to get it for me? So nobody's even getting like necessarily all the same things. This is all Crime Circus posted the interrogations first. Oh, did he? I thought he posted them after,
he did.
but I don't know. I'm not an avid follower of Crime Circus. I do watch him every once in a while, but I'm not like, I don't know the timing of things for him. But okay, so I guess maybe Crime Circus got his own thumb drive. Maybe that's a very odd.
Shout out Indy Cindy, so everyone can thank the prof for not getting any more of the exhibits. 100% facts. Just want to announce that. Okay, go ahead.
So funny how the court still has failed to provide a single thing to anyone referencing the video. There was like 4 or 5 exhibits about the audio and video, and no one's gotten shit. We did talk about that before you came in. So this website's created in order for everybody to get it for free, instead of the miserable state of Indiana sucking more money from people who just want to be able to actually have transparency in the Delphi case. And that made people mad. I found that very odd. I don't know why creating a website to put every trial exhibit on made people upset. Like, that's exactly what we had asked for. We wanted, and we said the state is struggling to get us anything, and Jody's behind on transcripts and everything else. She still hasn't gotten me my transcripts from the summer hearings because remember, we only got certain certain testimony. And so she was supposed to be filling in the rest of the testimony. I still don't have those to this day, which is we're going on almost a year. I don't know
Travis, I knew it just because it made sense to me. Knowing that he had another case going on in front of Judge Gull, and knowing that he initially wanted this to go forward and then suddenly pulled back when everyone was reacting negatively to it. It just made sense.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I can't click on that. Okay, so why did Jody file an extension for the initial hearing transcript that we already have? All eyes, I have no idea. I thought that was just crazy shit. But if you remember, the defense team actually requested that transcript from the initial hearing many moons ago, and they never got it, and we got it. So I don't know. I mean, I think I was the one who ended up sending it to Michael because nobody could get it. But it's already done. So I don't know why there's no delay. It's already done. It's ready to go. Okay, so the bottom line, what I was understanding from this live that we watched was Prof and anybody who I'm going to say Prof's side, but I don't mean it like sides like that. I mean anybody who's under that umbrella, I guess, wants to know the chain of custody for the BG video. I don't know why, and I don't know what it changes, because if the metadata isn't changing based on the umpteen people who have looked into it on their own, nothing of the video has been changed. So,
because they want to say that Andy Baldwin gave it to Michael Osbrook, and Michael Osbrook went in there and hacked it and changed it and enhanced it, and then that's the one he gave to Luke to put on the website, because they're batshit crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, because everybody pulling the metadata, if he had done anything, it would come back to the altered state. I think everybody knows that, right? Like, I'm not a tech person, and I know that. So it doesn't really matter how many hands it passed through, because once it got to me, I'll just say me, once it got to me, then it's still the same metadata. So I don't know I don't know if it went from Baldwin to Osbrook to Luke. I don't know that, nor do I care.
There was no like chain of custody. This isn't the law enforcement. It's a lawyer to another lawyer to someone who was then uploaded it to a website. Like, and it's a public exhibit, so it doesn't matter.
The video is exactly as I took it out of the extraction. The same guy who is claiming it's fake is using it for content and buying me coffees, by the way. Nobody's bought me a fucking coffee, so, or a Dr. Pepper, I'm just saying.
Look, the plain and simple, Prof and Adrian have gotten their answers, but every time you give them an answer, they just have a new question. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're never going to be satisfied, ever.
But this is the thing. If it's not the original, then the metadata would be different. I don't find any tech person who can come in here and tell me otherwise. If I go in and I have a screenshot, okay, here's an example. So I took a screenshot of a chat, right? And I went to send that to somebody, and I couldn't find it because it was like from a year ago that I had taken the screenshot. I went to send it to somebody, and I was like, you know what? I already know I sent it to somebody else. I'll go find it from there. So I go and take a screenshot from where I had posted it, and then I sent it to them. Well, then they were like, well, what time did you take this? What day did you take this? Well, when I go to the metadata of the screenshot that I took of my picture, it was that day, right? Like, I altered it because I made a new screenshot, right? Like exactly like they did with the crime scene photos, so that nobody could track the metadata behind the crime scene photos. They screenshot it, alter it, screenshot it, send it back and forth, alter it, screenshot it, send it back and forth. That's how the crime scene photos got out, and why nobody could track where they came from.
And Michael just asked the actual question. So what was the video presented as trial as the original? That's the question they should be asking. But instead they're like flip-flopping it around and making it some weird conspiracy theory because they're fucking bored.
Okay, so is the issue truly about transparency? Juniper says, why not be completely transparent in a case of without any transparency? Why no transparency? So does the issue come down to the fact that people think that people are hiding the BG video? Because I think what I'm trying to figure out, the transparency that's being wanted has to do with who posted the video. They find out that it's Luke. Who gave authority for Luke to post the video? They find out that it's Baldwin. And now we need to know everybody on the in between.
Exactly.
That means that's considered transparency?
Exactly.
Okay. If that's the case, then I get it. I understand. And then, so this is exactly what I was saying from Rick's live. Then the same goes the other way. So the contract. Then obviously we know the contract came from Kathy. Kathy gave it to somebody. So if we want the original person who gave the contract to somebody, it's Kathy. If we want the person who posted it to the internet, it's Prof. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're literally looking at the exact same situation for transparency purposes. If we want, Baldwin said yes, and we know Luke posted it to the website, okay? Then you have the contract Kathy gave to somebody, Prof posted it to the website. You understand what I'm saying, right? Like, it's legit the same thing. So we can't preach transparency and then not give transparency, right? So if I care about where the contract came from outside of Kathy and what the chain of custody is for Kathy to give it to Prof, because we know Kathy didn't give it exactly to Prof. We know that there's a middleman there. And if there's a middleman between Baldwin and Luke, then there's a middleman. There's no transparency on either side then. So then how does that, I'm not transparent, you're not transparent, let's go and attack each other on a personal level and hate each other and create chaos all over the internet because of it. I won't give you transparency, but I'm going to demand transparency from you.
No, like, we don't even actually care how it got to Prof. It's just about them being hypocritical as fuck. It's like, okay, you care so much about this chain of custody, but you don't want to tell us who gave it to you, Prof. Like, we were just like calling them out on their shit. We didn't actually give a fuck.
Woman, he gets ice cream all the time. You leave that alone. Okay, so I think so the issue then becomes, we're not going to be transparent because you guys are trying to force transparency while not being transparent.
Well, the whole fucking point of this, the only reason we care is because he is like using all this, lying about it, knowingly lying about it, him and Adrian, and like doing it to target like harassment towards fucking Angela, who hasn't said anything. Like, what? Like, continuously too. Like, I've talked so much shit.
Understand that.
I've talked so much shit to both of them, and they barely like have shit to say about me. It's like, oh well, whatever. But look what Ange did. It's fucking crazy.
Okay, so let me see. So, okay, this Johnny Chimpo, which I don't know who you really are, but that's okay. The contract has nothing to do with the trial or evidence. Okay, so let's talk about that for a hot minute. The contract has to do with the future of the case. So it's actually more private going forward to keep anything that could potentially help or hurt Rick under wraps versus the things that are already public, which is items from the trial. So I'm going to say nothing to do with is incorrect, in my opinion. You can have your own. You're welcome to it. But anything that's happening now going forward is what's actually going to affect Rick and any case, appeal, post-conviction relief. Anything to do with him moving forward should be under tighter wraps than anything that is legally a public document or public exhibit from a trial that has already been concluded, and the public should have already had access to it. So I will agree that they are not one and the same, but I would actually say the contract influences more about what happens to Rick's future than the exhibits from the trial that should already be done.
Correct. And I want to say Keith was just saying this ultimately. Is Kathy even aware that Prof is sharing this shit and talking on her behalf while saying Kathy is concerned with Michael and Kara's social media presence? Like, that's also a big thing too, because they're the only people, Prof especially, they're the only people saying, Kathy said this. Kathy doesn't like you. Kathy hates Michael. Like, they're the ones saying shit like that, not us.
Well, that's ridiculous because you can't speak for Kathy.
I just want to say I saved 2 discs from having a stroke. They wanted that down for like an hour now.
Wow.
Yeah, they wanted to look at your face, not
Oh,
them.
I'm sorry. I left that up there.
Yes.
I get involved and I don't pay attention to things like that. I apologize, you guys, for leaving that up. But that's just my thought. I don't.
It's weird. Why are you speaking for Kathy, lying about it, and then turning around and telling Rick Snay that we're trying to speak for Kathy? That's delusional. These people are knowingly lying and trying to confuse the fuck out of everyone. Why?
Michael, I had already put it in there for you, so you can come up if you want, or anybody else who has if you have something to add to what I'm missing from the whole thing, because that's where I'm at. My bottom line is I don't think that it's necessary for anybody to know either of those things. We know the beginning and we know the end.
Nobody should be speaking for Kathy, and I just want to say that during the time of the contract business, though I had not seen the contract, I remember countless arguments or rants, I guess, in a group of people talking about how there should be no intermediaries, that Kathy can answer for herself if something's wrong with the contract. She and her lawyer, which were the only 2 people that the contract was addressed to. And to be honest, like Kathy and therefore Rick were the only 2 that would be affected by the contract in any way, shape, or form. So it was always my opinion that any friends of Kathy should not be intermediaries, injecting themselves, saying they like or dislike a contract that literally has no consequences for them at all. So it was very much pushed that nobody should be speaking for Kathy except her and her lawyer. And when it got shared by whoever, and I'm glad that Shabugi said this, because we don't care. I don't care. I mean, I can speak for myself. I personally don't care who she shared it to, who then shared it to Prof. I know that it went to her and it somehow got to Prof. Period.
Right.
And he put it on, he felt it was appropriate to put it on the internet, and it was nobody else's business.
Right.
So other than that, I don't need to know that she showed, person A, person B, person C, person D, and then person C went and sent it to Prof. Like, I don't care. And so
Right.
when it comes to the website stuff, like you said, the most that I can speak for it, and I've told you this, and I've said it on lives countless times, it doesn't seem to ever really matter, because like you all said, we're dealing with a situation where it doesn't matter what's shown. There's always going to then be, it's like you clear one thing up and then they're like, oh, well, we can't have this cleared up. So now we need to come up with a new question. Right. And a new demand of what we need. And it would be similar to, okay, well, it came from the extraction. Okay, well, I won't believe it until I see the extraction. then they see the extraction for themselves. And then it's like, well, I don't believe this because I didn't physically download it from the phone. So I don't know what all is missing from here. So I'm going to need the phone. Like, it's always something else. There's never any satisfaction with the answer. And I just think we're talking about the wrong things. My thing since the minute that it showed up on the website is, okay, if this doesn't look like what was shown in court, then what the fuck was shown in court? And the fact that the court refuses to provide a single exhibit, and there's multiple.
Why aren't we all together? Why aren't we all together on that? Like, why even this conversation about the video, the website, anything? Why isn't everybody just like together and up in fucking arms that the state of Indiana refuses to release anything to do with the BG video that they have done?
And
the
Nick
only
called
reason that we have seen it is because of the defense team.
But we do care about, we've been polluted.
No, I mean
with
all
these weird
fucking all the sides.
I know, but
why isn't there like
why
we still
are
be
they
battling to that direction? You see what I mean?
Why are
like,
they distracting everyone with crazy fucking nut job conspiracy theories?
I mean, has anybody, or I should say, who all has sent a email to Jody and asked her very specifically and clearly why none of the video exhibit, whether it's just the audio, the enhanced video, the regular video, any exhibits related to this video has not been released?
Can I interject?
Yeah.
I've been saying this in chats for a while. Maybe you want to do it, T, but somebody, and maybe more than one person, get more than one person who was at the trial, play the BG video on the live and go over it in detail with the person about, I mean, even the Tweedles were saying what was represented to be the original was much more jittery.
Right.
And you know, get somebody up who was at the trial, who has a decent memory, and who's willing to like go over the video and discuss the differences.
And I haven't talked about that publicly, but I
get Andrea.
What?
Let's set it up. Said get Andrea. Let's set it up.
Okay, because that's literally, I was just getting ready to say that she's the most that I've privately talked to about it.
Yeah, let's see if she'd come on and talk about it.
I'll ask her. I'll send her a message. There was a couple like at first she was like, I know that there's no way that that's it because blah 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 blah. And then the more she was thinking about it, she's like, you know, I was further away. I was looking at the screen on an angle. I only saw it one time for like a quick second. So like maybe I'm misremembering. Like maybe I just didn't know where to look and I couldn't look at it up close like I can on my phone. So like she was not fully, after some time, willing to 100% poo-poo it as what was shown in court. However, her instinct still was that it was not what was shown in court. But again, the question then is this could easily be cleared up by providing the actual exhibits that were shown in court. I personally have a big problem with the thought that a video was shown, multiple videos were shown in court, and when it came out of Nick's face that it was the original from Libby's phone, then somebody at the defense table should have been staring at the screen if they didn't already know what the exhibit was going to be, which I also don't understand, and then say, wait a second, that is not the video that is in her phone, because we have the extraction and that's not what it looks like. So,
and there's also been some suggestion that the video that McClelland used in closing wasn't from any of the videos that were shown in court. So it wasn't, I mean, you're allowed to use evidence as part of your closing, but, and I don't know that we'll ever be able to answer this question definitively, but a couple of people at least have said, you know, the thing that was used in closing didn't look like any of the videos and evidence. But
did it look like the one that's on the website?
I don't know. I wasn't there. It's just
Right.
people said it didn't look like it. I'm just repeating. Look,
Yeah.
this is it's Delphi, right? People are repeating what they've heard.
See, we could have
And
went back and looked if this had been, you know, televised
well,
or whatever.
but I raised this to Sleuthy's point about if it was visibly different from something that was entered into evidence, why wasn't the defense saying something about it?
Right.
True. So we have two people in chat that were at the trial. I don't remember either Gritty or True Seeker if you guys were there every day or not. I apologize for that. If you guys were there during the BG video, which BG video were you there for? Were you there for the 30-second, the 43-second, the stabilized, the audio being played, like what, or the one that was played at closing, or all the above? Can you give us an idea of what you guys were there for?
What's
Cat,
the 30-second?
the what?
What's the 30-second?
That's what I was getting ready to say, but I wanted to answer Catastrophe before it goes away about being in person. Jody's not letting anybody show up in person, not to pay her, not to request anything. You're not allowed to go there.
Not anymore. I used to have. She used to. I'd send somebody money. They went straight into her office and they did a cash exchange for whatever I was requesting.
Yep.
And
And
now
then,
that's not happening anymore because somebody caused an issue in the room, and so they felt unsafe and wanted to make it so. According to what Jody said to me,
yeah.
they felt unsafe and they have now restricted anybody from coming in the office.
And then as for the
I have to send money orders and then she'll mail it to me.
30-second thing, if you remember, when they played the first one, I think it was like the very first time that they ever played it in court, it was supposed to be the original video. And everyone I could think of off the top of my head, I don't watch the Hidden True Germs and stuff. So like Bob, for instance, number one, the very first thing was like, there's no way that was 43 seconds. Like, I wasn't obviously looking at like my watch, but like, there's just no, like, I immediately thought once it was done, like, there's no way that was 43 seconds. It might have been 30 seconds, maybe. And so if it was the original, it's not possible that it was 30 seconds. And if Nick made a representation that it was the original and it was not, then I'm sorry, but I feel like that was the defense's burden to call out.
Well, and the question arises, why would they be showing a crappier video as the original?
Right.
I mean, it just none of it makes sense. And look, I mean, this is the question. All I can say is, and I've said this, I've said this on Twitter.
Oh, Teresa, don't get rid of that.
I'm not allowed, as a lawyer, professional conduct rule 8.4 says that I don't get to engage in, I don't know exactly how it goes, but basically I don't get to lie to the public as a lawyer. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I'm involved in a case or not. I'm just not allowed to lie to the public.
Right.
So, the stuff I say, I mean, professional conduct rule 8.4 is kind of my receipt. And so when I say that thing, I got the video extraction from the defense, I mean the whole friggin' phone extraction. I don't mean just the
video.
Just the video. So when I say, all I can tell you is the video that was released was what was given to the defense and then given to me, and I assume that was what was represented to be the extraction from Liberty German's phone.
Right. And also, you cannot be expected, and it almost seems like that's like what they would be inching towards. But regardless, even if you did do it, which you shouldn't and you won't, it wouldn't be good enough. After that, there would still be something wrong. You would have to send the whole extraction, blah, 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 blah. But it's almost like they want you to like screen record your screen going into the extraction and showing them that the video is the same. And that's just absolutely absurd. But I just want to say, because you got rid of it and then I'm going to forget.
I have it.
They said,
I started, so it's in the back, so you can grab it whenever you want. I got rid of it so we could talk about what the exhibits, what we understand the exhibits to be. Do
okay.
you, Michael, know what exhibit number that was?
I have no idea. I have not followed the exhibit numbers. I really haven't.
I didn't know if anybody, when it was given, it told you.
No, because Baldwin just authorized the release of the video because it was an exhibit. And so I don't know. Nobody said release exhibit X because I wouldn't have known what exhibit X is.
Right.
Okay.
And he should have known.
Well, maybe, I mean, there are a ton of exhibits. I don't know, yes, he could have had an exhibit list and all the rest. I mean, I don't know if they, I think one reason, for instance, that they didn't release the interrogation videos of Rick was that the exhibit was redacted. And they may not have had a copy. They should have had a copy because, when you enter something into evidence, you give the other side the copy. And my guess is they would have had the copy of the exhibit before it was entered, because if it was redacted, they would have wanted to review the redactions first to make sure it was okay. But my understanding of why they didn't want to release the interrogation exhibits videos is that they didn't have the redacted version, and so the original version was not an exhibit that could be released.
So that is so irritating to me because if they don't have, say, an itemized folder, and I know this will go up your ass because I know how you feel about this stuff, but if they don't have an itemized folder of specifically the exhibits that were entered at trial, right, then how could one ever make the claim that the original was not representative of the actual original? If you don't have a copy of exactly what was shown in court, right, as the defense, then if this were to get brought up, meaning we have a feeling that you did not show the full original video from the extraction and that you showed these weird chopped up, stabilized, enhanced whatevers and never showed the original, what would stop him if you don't have any copies of just replacing, let's say, exhibit 201 with the actual version of it from the phone?
Yeah, especially if someone were then to go mess with the official exhibit list, right?
Correct. Where is the official exhibit list?
Normally you'd have a paralegal or an assistant sitting there, one person dedicated to, probably on a legal pad, keeping an exhibit list. I don't know whether they did or not.
Yeah, don't you have to? I mean, isn't that
Don't you have to
whole
enter
thing?
one?
They keep the attorneys afterward to make sure that this exhibit matches this, so that the number is written down and it's tagged correctly, and every exhibit has an exhibit number. I mean, isn't that part of trial?
Yeah, it's kind of the way things go.
So, well, here's the thing with the exhibits. If and when we get the trial transcripts, we'll know exactly what exhibit goes with what. So this current list that we have from All Eyes and what I have picked out of that's quote unquote missing, that should be able to be requested. It's not sealed. It wasn't under the seal of crime scene or autopsy. So we have, and this is only from people who were in the courtroom. So Truth Seeker or Gritty, if you guys have a different note that you guys want to share on if you wrote down on your notes a different exhibit number, please let me, All Eyes, anybody know, so then we can kind of look at that too. So this is State's Exhibit 200 is the quote unquote 30-second version of the Bridge Guy video, which is what everybody came out and said, like, we counted and it was like 30 seconds. It wasn't the whole thing. We don't know if that's accurate, but multiple people who were in the courtroom came out and said that. It was very short. So I don't know. So we call it the 30-second video. So that's State's Exhibit 200, according to what we were told by people in court. Now, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205 are all screenshots from that. She wrote down a lot, but some of them are wrong, and we know they're wrong because we have multiple that are the same, and they are not the exact same thing. And we've gotten ones now that are requested that were not what was on the list. So we know that some are wrong, which is, I mean, shit, she still did an amazing job trying to write down everything she did. So that's not talking shit. That's amazing.
Can I address something Travis said in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was telling Sleuthy that Jody would have to be in on that conspiracy. In other words, swapping exhibit numbers and stuff, and that's true, Travis. And you know, that's kind of hard to get your head around. And I'm not suggesting she would. On the other hand, do not forget that she's obviously obstructing access to these things now, and she obstructed Kara she obstructed Kara in the second original action from getting the transcript of the in-camera hearing where Gull ripped Rosie and Baldwin a new one and basically made him withdraw. Look, I don't know what's going on up there, and I'm not going to accuse people of stuff that you can't prove, but you can at least prove that she's obstructing. She obstructed Kara, and she's clearly obstructing access to public exhibits now.
Well, her reasoning is that she's just busy. She's busy trying to get this transcript done.
Well,
It
she
takes
denies my access to stuff, and then she tells me
She doesn't
has
want to
no
talk
reason.
to you, Sleuthy. She just
What?
denies you. She just denies you. She doesn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, but she says and then I'll be like, okay, what's the reason? She has no reason, and she'll be like, okay, well, you'll have to ask Judge Gold. I don't have a reason. I don't know what. You'll have to ask her. I still have an email into Judge Gold with no response. So she just does what she's told.
It's a slightly different issue, but also, you know, Teresa mentioned the transcript of the initial hearing. Do not forget that before the motion to correct error was filed, the lawyers asked for production of the initial hearing. And Gull issued an order saying, no, we'll leave that for the appellate lawyers.
Yeah.
I mean, Teresa got it, and I got it, and was used in the motion to correct error. But in what world are the lawyers who are asking for it refuse the transcript, but, you know, somebody in the public pays for it and can get it? I mean, really?
Mm-hmm. It's not like they made the public wait until the appellate attorneys had it. And even now, the appellate attorneys are like still asking for it and still have not been provided.
Well, they had been provided, but they had to ask for it because in order to make it part of the record on appeal, it was not. So instead of just asking for transcripts of trial and all hearings in the case, they put in a specific list of things and the hearings that they wanted. And the initial hearing was not on the list. And I pointed out to them that if they wanted to raise the chronic claim at all or had thoughts about doing it, they might want to ask for the initial hearing.
Okay, but did somebody say that Jody asked for an extension for that transcript?
For the initial hearing transcript?
Yeah, someone said earlier that
they just put in I think Stacy put in a new request for the transcript, and I think it may have included that. I'd have to go back and read it. I kind of just skimmed it.
She requested the transcript of the initial hearing again, and she entered an appearance again. But someone was
No,
saying earlier,
it wasn't. She didn't enter an appearance again. She entered an appearance. She had no appearance on file.
how did she get on the record then?
Because she'd been appointed for the appeal, so they put her in there. I mean, the way the courts are the way the court's handling this. I mean, props out there. Look who's the who's the attorney of record. Well, actually,
Nobody.
Actually, nobody. I mean, Stacey's in there now, and and yeah, they had their appearances in the Court of Appeals, but and by the way, he says, I'm not on there. Well, I can tell you, I'm getting served with stuff.
I was going to say, what's it matter that Kevin or Krebin Greenlee, he was on there forever, for ages.
Yes. And then finally she was like, can you just remove all these attorneys?
Yeah. For ages.
Like, everybody was sitting there for months. That was when she got sent to Supreme Court, though. And then she was like, okay, clean this up.
I've been removed, but I think the reason I'm getting served with stuff is I think that somebody, maybe Stacey's putting me in. So there's when you file stuff, there's a place where you can add email addresses for people to get service copies, not just parties, but anybody else you want it sent to. And I'm guessing that I'm getting stuff because somebody's putting me in that box.
Got it.
Kelvin Greenlee. Kevin Greenflea.
I'm trying to find that last request for the transcript. You just have to give me a second because I know that Tammy sent it to me at some point. Is this it? This is supplemental request for transcript. The defendant Richard Allen, by counsel and pursuant to Indiana Rules of Appellate Procedure 9G, respectfully request the court reported to transcribe the following hearing. Initial hearing held on October 28th, 2022. This hearing is to be included as part of the appeal from the convictions. Now, is there a response to that though?
No, it's just a request for an additional transcript because it wasn't in the original specific list that they filed with the notice of appeal.
But what I'm saying is, so Jody hasn't denied that or asked for a. I'm trying to find out if there's anything filed by Jody saying, "Hey, I'm requesting an extension or a, some more time to be able to get
the current extension is for the trial transcript and maybe for all the transcripts for June 9th. And I'm not going to be surprised if she asks for another.
See, I'll be right back, you guys. Sorry.
I mean, I guess I really just want to get it out there that, I don't know everything, but the stuff I say, it's what I believe to be true is the best, as the best I know it, because I don't get to make stuff up. Other people do, but I don't.
I mean, I think they know this. I part of me thinks that there's no way that people believe some of the just insane, idiotic things that are coming out of their mouths. And then the other part of me is like, I don't know, maybe they're high on meth and maybe they do believe it. But like, I think earlier they hit the nail on the head that as much transparency as was necessary has been given. Like, nobody owes anybody any further explanation for how the video showed up on a website. They're talking about, and they hide it behind the fact that the contract that no one should have seen made mention of the possibility of future fundraising. That's the other thing that they want to know all about the previous fundraiser, and they hide behind that this claim that Kathy has no clue where all the money went from the first fundraiser.
And Kathy knows exactly where the money is. And I personally know that. I mean, I
Right.
personally know Kathy knows where the fundraiser money went and where what's left over is. And
Like, oh, okay, so there's both. So she knows where it is, what's left of it, and then also what was paid out and who it went to.
yeah, well, what was paid out and who it went to, I think, is public. I mean, I think actually
Stacey said it.
Stacey mentioned that she'd been paid $12,000 out of it.
Yeah.
And so the part about fundraising was in the so I've said this publicly already, but I'm gonna say it again. What the prof put up was the signed contract by Kara and me that if it was okay with everybody, with the people who matter. I've been pilloried for that, but it's really true. If it was okay with the people who matter, then Kathy could just sign it. But along with the signed PDF by Kara and me, I sent the blank Word document literally with an email saying, change whatever you like. And the part about 501c3 and fundraising was in there because it wasn't coming from Kara and me. There were people who were talking about wanting to raise money. So we put that in there so that if people were going to raise money, we could try to find either find or create an appropriate place to put it. And what people somehow thought that this was my and Kara's evil attempt to get our hands on a whole bunch of money, when they don't realize that 501c3s have boards.
Mm-hmm.
The boards decide where the money goes. It's not like Kara and I were going to be able to say goody goody gumdrops, all this money is ours.
Oh, well,
and that's only if people did raise money. And then people were saying,
you can't take the money if you do it as a legal fundraiser. Like, wasn't that like the whole thing was making sure that fundraiser was set up like as a means,
legitimate.
like a struggle because of the fact that it wasn't for the attorneys, it was for the experts, and then they had to do I don't know why I did that, sorry. They had to do like a bunch of hoops to get through to try to make it so that it wasn't an attorney friendly.
Well, that was the original fundraiser. I'm talking about new money. I'm talking about new money.
Oh, okay.
And I'm talking about new money, but as far as the old money goes,
you still can't take that money as an attorney. That's fraud.
The version of the contract was explicit in repeated places that Kara and I were to get nothing. The leftover fundraiser money was for investigators and experts, and we don't get any of it.
Right.
I mean, it was explicit about that.
Well,
and
the
then
biggest thing I saw in the contract that made sense to me was you could end it at any time, Kara could end it at any time, Kathy could end it at any time, Rick could end it at any time. Anytime that the partnership between the parties was no longer a functional thing, anybody could put a stop to it for any reason. I was like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not going to say whether it's no-brainer. People didn't like it, and people are entitled to the advisors and friends they have and the advice they want to take, and that's fine. But then it slid over to my looking for a giant payday to file the civil case for Rick, and Prof was out there just mindlessly saying it's like a $50 or $100 million case.
$50 million, 100%. That's what he's telling everybody. He knows for a fact it's worth $50 million.
Well, and look, all I can tell you is this. I have been looking for civil rights lawyers to take this case on for 6 months.
If it was a guaranteed
And,
$50 million payday, I don't know why they wouldn't jump on it.
well, they haven't. And all I was offering, and it was basically the same deal as with the offer to start the post-conviction investigation. It was, look, I'm not a civil rights lawyer. I have sued the DOC before. I know how to file a complaint. I have the facts. I have Westcott's report. I can get the details in. I can get the basic claims in. The statute of limitations is running. You get something filed. If you get all the facts in, you can amend later when, a much bigger dog is found. And frankly, I mean, it was never the thought that, Kara and I alone with post-conviction investigation could handle 20 terabytes of discovery. We just needed access to the discovery to investigate, develop the items that we were working on and maybe some new items. It was also, to get the discovery copied, which it wasn't. It hadn't been. Prof put up this email or it was supposedly a screenshot where saying Kathy was in tears because she was being threatened that if she didn't sign the agreement, discovery was going to be leaked onto YouTube and the internet. That never happened.
I can't.
Wow.
I mean, it just never happened. And I mean, this all really began with Adrian clutching her pearls. Oh, I'm so worried about Kathy. I've heard that she's being badgered, and that when she turned down the agreement, Michael Osbrook was
showing up outside.
Showed up at her door.
Somebody told her that. She didn't make that up out of nowhere. So where's that coming from? Like, this is back to like who's infiltrating.
I don't know. I don't know. I have my ideas, but now she gets around it. Now knowing it's not true, she continues to say, I'm still hearing it. I don't know, but I'm still hearing it. So it's all this, assassination by innuendo, and she knows it's not true. And this goes back to what Sleuthy was saying earlier. Well, you think everybody knows that.
What's it called when you know something's not true, but you like keep repeating it anyway about a person?
I don't know, but it's it's despicable. I call it despicable. And it is nothing. It doesn't. Frankly, it has real world consequences, and discrediting me is not helpful to Rick.
I think that's what gets me so upset, in the sense that, like, it seemed like there was a big push about this $50 million lawsuit. And while I believe that Rick Allen has been mistreated, and there's a lot more I could say about that, my bigger concern is someone sitting in prison for something that they didn't do. And so for me, it's like, okay, so you sue, right? And you win this $50 million. What the fuck does that do? Because Rick don't get $50 million. He still stays in prison. He's still in solitary confinement, and he's sitting there for something he didn't do. So what would that really, I mean, people will say, well then they'll know that we're watching, but like,
well, I can tell you that Rick Allen would have a better chance of winning a civil lawsuit about how he was treated in Westville
if he got out.
If he was out.
100%.
And it was proven that he wasn't even the fucking guy.
Can you imagine?
You want to know how much money that would, quote unquote, be worth? That's a lot more money than what him being convicted.
Well, the civil suit is not irrelevant.
I'm not saying it's not, but in terms of my priorities, it's lower on the totem pole than
It's lower, but it's important as well, because once the civil suit gets started, then you get all the federal discovery about the communications between the DOC
Right, that's true.
and Carroll County.
Yeah.
Well,
So this
you
is
know.
this is
Yeah.
a legit question that I do have. I don't think anybody on this panel can actually answer that. If you can, feel free to. But I have this question. When I read the contract, that was my first thought was, why is there any money left over when we know that more needed to be done?
That's a question for the defense team. I personally
Right.
have the same question. Why wasn't it used to pay experts? I could think of several experts that like it would have been cool to have,
Yes.
but that's for them to answer.
I don't know if anybody on this panel can answer, but I think it's an absolutely legit question.
Well, and in a way, all the kerfuffle, and it's become a great deal more than a kerfuffle, but the kerfuffle started when Prof falsely started saying that I was discrediting him and Erica and Christine Salzer publicly. And that just wasn't true. The only thing I didn't have any time for with Prof was his whole proof of life, and it was proof of life thing, and it was Bree Wilbur and Kelsey German on the bridge.
Yeah, and that pissed him off.
And well, I'm sorry. I mean, I just not all arguments. I mean, he talks about critical thinking, and I'm sorry, not all arguments or opinions are deserving of respect just because people have them or make them.
Well, I personally also think it's been my opinion that part of the freak out when the video came out on the website was that it essentially discredited or debunked the theory that he had been, saying for years. Like that's not Abby.
Oh, the video discrediting the theory. That doesn't make sense, because I mean, there's still plenty of people who think that whole thing's still fucking fake. So it doesn't.
But he has to perpetrate that, or perpetuate it. He has to keep the videos fake. It's not, because then
let it be. But he can perpetuate that without hating anybody. You see what I mean? Like, there's plenty of people who are in this chat right now who do not believe that video is real at all.
Right.
And they're not. They're
free to believe it. But you cannot You cannot have a useful discussion about this case with those people.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Well, at least that's my position. I mean, if you're absolutely going to be untethered from reality, I really don't want to have anything to do with you.
Preach.
So Keith has a question. So if for you, Michael, if exculpatory evidence is discovered, such as the DNA being tested, would it free Rick immediately, or would he still have to have some sort of appeal in court? I think that's a tough question, because I think it would depend on what the DNA was, where the DNA was found.
Look, it's not exculpatory. If they didn't test it, it's not. It's just the value of the evidence is unknown. So it's unknown to the prosecution too. The whole business of exculpatory evidence having to be turned over. And Kara and I were just having a discussion about this the other day, and it's a little complicated. You really want a law lecture tonight?
Don't I always?
I think I see what you're saying. I think maybe the point would be, if the state never tested it and don't know who it belongs to, then should it belong to somebody else that's not really their. They weren't hiding the fact that it was somebody else's because they also didn't know.
That's part. Yeah, that's part of it.
But look at chat. Chat said, you said you want a law lesson. People
all
are like,
night.
Yes, please, all night. Yes, yes, baby.
Give me all the law.
So Brady unlike NAPUI, so NAPUI is the van, right? NAPUI is you put on, the prosecution puts on evidence that it knows is false and does nothing to correct it. And that's almost, in most cases, that's going to be pretty much an instant reversal. If a court agrees with you that that's what the prosecution did. Brady is a little different. And so everybody says, well, they didn't turn over the exculpatory evidence. Well, the way Brady works is you don't have a constitutional violation. So it's a due process violation not to turn over evidence that is both exculpatory and material. And materiality is measured by whether there's a reasonable probability the result of the trial would have been different had the evidence been turned over. And what that means is that a prosecutor is always free to just make the bet, I'm not going to hand this over. The evidence is going to be overwhelming enough so this exculpatory evidence, if it ever comes out, a court is going to say, yeah, the evidence was so overwhelming, there's no reasonable probability the result of the trial would have been different. Now prosecutors are taking a risk when they do that, but typically it's years before Brady stuff shows up, if it shows up at all. And in the meantime, they have their conviction. The guys, the man or the woman's been away in prison. Years have gone by. Look, I'll give you the perfect example. I had a murder case in Kokomo. I've talked about this on a number of occasions. Got the guy a new trial in federal court. In federal court, we got the new trial ordered. Right after that happened, getting ready for the new trial, it was actually getting ready for the hearing in federal court. The prosecutor very kindly gave me a fresh copy of the entire police file. And in the police file was a police report that said, a reliable confidential informant says so-and-so committed the murders along with his street crew, and the gun that was used is in such and such a car right now. Now, the defense lawyer for my guy had never seen that. I don't know whether that was intentionally withheld, but it would have been an instant new trial, and it really sort of got a new trial in federal court too. If
Michael?
indirect. Yeah.
Before you keep going, what you just said right there is that why it's important for defense attorneys to have a specified copy of everything given them by prosecutors?
Yeah,
So that
they should have a
know
copy
what
of
was turned over and what wasn't.
Absolutely. When you've got 20 terabytes of stuff, if you don't have a list, and if you don't have a list and you don't have an exact copy, right? An exact copy of what was turned over to you. Prosecution can always say, yeah, we turned that over.
Yeah, they just can't find it.
Yeah. So, I think almost all the prosecutors in Indiana now have what's called an open file policy. And that is to say, anything the prosecutors have, the defense can come in and look through. And so that kind of eliminates the Brady part of it. Now, it's also true, the police, law enforcement can hide stuff from the prosecutor. But if that comes out, the prosecutors are charged with knowledge of that. But what I'm trying to say is that Brady violations really don't happen until a trial's over, because you can't measure the materiality of the exculpatory evidence until you see what the trial evidence is. I hope you see what I mean. And that's why with the Reese Davis stuff, I mean, there were two reasons. The motion that Andy Baldwin filed about the Reese Davis stuff, the local rule is more powerful than Brady in one particular way. And that is, it simply requires that all exculpatory evidence be turned over.
Mm-hmm.
There's no materiality requirement.
So I have a question.
Oh, what?
After you give us law lessons, are we allowed to put that like on our LinkedIn and resume that we went to law school?
I already added it to mine.
I knew it. I knew it.
Only if after I've been on your all's lives, I can put that I went to Delphi school
of hard knocks,
or courtroom sketch artist school.
Yeah, you guys show them again. Show them your lolly.
Look at that.
That's Sleuthy drew that, you guys.
Spot
Come on.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on. Objection.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I have to wrap it up because I still have to go to dinner for my family, which I totally pushed them off because I wanted to have this live because I feel so much better. Like I actually kind of understand, I think, where things are, not on the personal side of things, but on the actual case side of things. So I will give you guys a chance for final thoughts and anything that you want to say.
I want to say real quick that
Sing it, baby. Sing it.
Prof and Adrian are preying on the stupidity of others. So if you're in the chat right now talking that nonsense, Aaron, you might be just kind of ignorant. That's all.
Slugs.
I would like to make a motion to permanently change her name to Shaboobies.
Shaboobies.
No.
I like Shaboobies. I think we can make it happen. Hold on. Let's see if I can do it.
It's not
I do
family
too.
appropriate.
There you go. Sleuthy, your wish is my command.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw her on that live, I said, Shaboobies. I actually said it on accident. And then I was like, that's got to now be her name.
So I have to say for anybody in chat, like you guys have to know, like I really don't care who you watch or where you go. Like I don't track any of that kind of stuff. I know there's creators that are like, you were in so-and-so's chat, so I'm never speaking to you again, and now you're blocked from my channel because you listened to whatever. I don't care who you listen to. I mean, if you only watch me because I watch somebody else or because I don't watch somebody else, like we're not on the same wave. We're not on the same page, I guess, anyway. So I don't care about that. Now, I'm going to be, like I told you guys earlier, I haven't watched Prof for a very long time. That's a personal choice for a personal reason, outside of any of this stuff. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Adrian, I don't really know. She's always been very, Sleuthy and I have talked about this. She's always been a sweetheart to me. She's always been so kind. I don't know what's in her ear or what's happening behind the scenes on the personal side of things that's making these choices. I haven't talked to her. But I mean, I would absolutely be open to talking to her to figure out what the hell is going on, because I mean, she's been for 2 years. She's been on my channels. I've gone to her chats. She's been to my chats. This is not something that I really understand. So I would really like to get to the bottom of that for personal reasons of my own, because like I said, I've always really gotten along with her. I don't know if there's a disconnect or if there's somebody in her ear. I don't know the answer to that. And for me personally, I'm going to find out, because I don't want to lose that person as a person that I've gotten along with for so long. So I want to try to figure that out for my own benefit, and you guys can do whatever you want with that information.
I want to agree with that, just for the record, because like I don't even remember what specifically post she posted, and where I like commented. I know it was about the contract, but like I commented on it and was like, I'm like really disappointed. Like I truly was and remain disappointed because I was, and I'll tell you, because I see people in the chat here, and I won't be an asshole. But like she's not the first female around here where I've just been completely like thrown off. Like, wait, what?
Yes.
Where? Like
And maybe,
what?
and maybe you guys are right, and maybe I'm blind. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I can only tell you from my own experiences, and you guys have yours, and I'll absolutely respect yours. And you guys, you know, you guys have yours. And then at the end of the day, I will figure it out which direction I want to go. But like I said, I can only base it off of my history and my interactions, and I don't have any. I just don't have, I don't know all the personal side of things. When I tell you guys I'm not watching the back and forth of all of this, I'm really not watching. I'm not making that up. I'm not watching it. I don't know it. And if there is something in particular that you guys in chat think I should know to help me navigate, by all means, email me, let me know. I am open to it. I can only give my history. That's all I've got. And I just,
Well, I didn't have no bad history with her. I only ever said good things about her. I really genuinely liked her. I shared all of her when she first showed up, and I think you were one of the first people I sent them to when she first showed up and she did the rune things. I was like, oh my God, like you should see this. Like, look at this, listen to what she's saying and whatnot. Like she must be empathetic.
I'm really not. I don't think I could like, but I don't.
I'm not like, I'm here to tell you, I don't care. I don't care to figure it out because I know that I never did anything to Adrian. So if you're, and this goes for anybody, not just her, but like, if you're just all of a sudden one day and you never ever came to me directly to ask me anything about this stuff, like, I'm not mad at you. I don't think about you all night. I don't talk about you all day in chats and text messages. I just like, I have zero time for, I'm 76 years old. I'm too old for this.
Right.
So
and Giuseppe, that's literally what I said is you go do what you got to do and you figure out what you got to figure out. And I'm telling you what I'm doing on my personal side of things. So by all means, source your info from wherever the hell you want to. But just make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. That's all I have to say. And Passenger Prof has slandered me for a very long time, long before this situation, which is why I stopped watching him. Because oh yeah, and but once again, it's not something that I come out here and talk about because I don't care, and I don't want people
talk all the time.
Well, yeah. So at one point, he was telling his mods to come over here because I was live, and to tell people that what I was talking about. It's probably still up on his channel. I know I have the clip still. That what I was talking about was stupid, and I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to say. So everybody should come over there and talk to him or be in his chat instead.
I'm really,
and then it continued on like that. So like I said, I don't care. It really doesn't matter to me in the end game. If there are 50 lives talking about me after this and people choose to listen to it, that's your choice. I make a choice that I don't give a shit. Right. I don't give a shit what he has to say about me at all. I have not for a long time. I don't give a shit if you watch him. I don't care if you go over there and watch him, come over here and watch me and go back and forth. That's it. If I find out you're talking shit about me, then you might be blocked on the channel. But that's a different story because that's no matter what chat you're in. But I just don't care. Me personally, for Adrian, it's different. We have a history. We have communicated a lot since I've covered Delphi. So
that's so weird to me. That whole, it's just so,
I don't
like, I mean it. I'm baffled. I don't care to figure it out, but like, and I don't care if you figure it out. I'm not gonna like be mad
so
at
like
you
if people are gonna get mad at me for figuring it out on my own, then that's once again, that's a you thing and not a me thing. So I did not block her on my channel. I timed her out along with at least,
she was running her mouth about Michael. I would have timed her out.
I timed out at least 3 people total, her being one of them, because I was getting stressed out because I didn't understand what people I liked on both sides were even fighting about. Right. So it was not a personal thing at all, ever. And so, and that's fine. Like I said, you guys have your history with people. I have my history with people. You watch whoever the hell you want to and enjoy your life. This is your free time, your time to go on YouTube. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. And that's really, at the end of the day, we can agree and we can agree to disagree. If you want to talk shit about me, that's a you thing. It's not a me thing. I
Okay,
don't
but
care.
on the same
Well-
token, though, not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like.
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference between going on a channel and just talking shit about me versus trying to go about it and getting involved in my personal life,
True.
which is
That's, yeah,
what's happening.
that's true.
I think there's a very big difference between those two things. I've had channels make videos about me, and it is what it is, and that's never going to go away. It's a choice that I make when I went and decided to have a YouTube channel. Now, for
Well-
you guys who don't have YouTube channels, I don't know what to tell you. For me, I've accepted it because it's part of where I've been for 4 years. So but once it gets to a personal attack, I don't care what side of anything you're on, you're wrong. You are in the wrong for taking it to the personal level of trying to attack a human being in their personal life or discredit their profession, discredit their morality, anything like that. That is on you. And that is, once again, you have to live with you at the end of the day. I don't have to. I can block you, and I will. So that's the other issue I have. Now, when it comes to the contract and when it comes to the video, here's my opinion on both of those things. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Baldwin gave the video out. I'm not going to show proof. Don't even care if there is proof. Not a big deal to me. We know it came from the defense team. Baldwin makes sense. Baldwin, Rosie, Ajay. Okay, great. One of those. Pick one. It is what it is. Luke posted it on the website. Issues done. Contract was given to Kathy. Kathy gave it to whoever the fuck she gave it to. Prof put it on YouTube. That's on Prof.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
if anybody's going to sit here and fight each other,
and it's on. I'm sorry. It's also on Adrian and her pearl clutching, saying, "Oh, I was so upset when I heard that Kathy was being badgered." I mean, if any of these people were interested in anything like truth, all they had to do was get in touch with me, and Prof has my phone number. They're not interested in the truth of anything, and now we have Adrian and her connection with Alex frigging Voorhees, and he's the next Delphi god. He's so intelligent. Yeah, he was probably involved in leaking the crime scene photos, and now we've got Adrian going on this absolute bullshit uniparty thing where, Sleuthy, me, Angela, Luke, I mean, we're all working with the prosecution now. It's all uniparty.
that's ridiculous.
What there is in common with the lynch mob that these people have is that just as the lynch mob wrapped themselves in the patties, Adrian and Prof wrapped themselves in their relationship with, if not directly with Kathy Allen, and their concern for Kathy Allen and their connection with her closest confidants. And it's just crap.
Michael, Keith has a question.
He did. Sorry, I missed it.
Also,
Keith, put your
if
question.
if I'm working with somebody and they're sending me malicious links via email, then we're not friends like I thought. Do we remember that Nick sent me a malicious email?
Yeah, no. Well, that's what I'm saying. Once it starts getting all kinds of crazy like that, that's too much, and you got to get the toxicity out of your life. Keith, no, you're not blocked. I just don't see your question. It's my sorry.
Well, let me add. I mean, the thing,
Don't you stick up for him? He sent me a malicious link.
Prof is not a grown-up would not have published that retainer agreement, would not have put it out on YouTube.
Right.
Even if, I mean, just wouldn't have. Would have looked at it and said, none of my business, go away. But
all right. Final
bottom
question.
line for both of them, let me just finish for a second.
Yeah,
the bottom line for both of them is I don't have any time for either of them because neither of them is interested in anything like truth.
Right.
Period. And that doesn't help advancing the case. at all.
Yeah.
So I guess as a viewer, you have to make the choice on what you believe and what you think. I mean, nobody can decide that for you. Only you can decide that.
Yeah, right, absolutely. People can go watch whom they watch, but it's just, you know, the idea that somehow I'm a state actor and I have up the state's timeline, and anybody who thinks differently is, you know, it's unapproved speech. It's not that your speech is unapproved, Prof. And Adrian, it's that your speech is ridiculous.
It's kind of crazy to me that I get accused of being like whatever they call people that say that everybody's not guilty, right? And then in the next breath, someone else is accusing me of working with the prosecution to railroad somebody. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't really make much sense. I mean, neither of those things are true. But I do want to say,
Go ahead.
I do want to say that I don't like to, I haven't brought it up and I don't want to discuss it further. And I don't really have too much insight into it to say publicly because I don't want to bring more suffering to the person. But somehow Angela has taken an enormous thrashing from people for whatever reason I can't figure out.
Because she doesn't fight back.
But if she did, I don't think it would matter. So, okay. So back when I first met Angela, I'm like, stop responding. Stop responding. Just pretend like they don't exist. That's what I do. You know how many people talk about me? And this was before I started with these people, right? There's people that don't like me from other cases. I'm like, I literally just don't like, if I see them, they say something, I immediately mute them. I just don't pay them any attention. Just do that. And she's like, well, it's not that easy, blah, blah, blah. Well, then she actually started doing that. And it hasn't made a bit of fucking difference. Okay?
I'll tell you that the
And
person
she
who was
takes it
after me
hard.
was after me for 2 years. And I ignored it for 2 years. It was the hardest fucking thing I think I've ever done. 2 years.
She has a lot going on. And
yeah, just fucking leave her alone.
yeah,
She's not even
and
on
it's just,
YouTube right now. Leave her the fuck alone.
yeah, it's just been piling up, like people. I've never seen people so relentless where you're getting no response, yet you still continue to just shit on her every chance that you get. And I don't understand it. Maybe because I'm just not like that. And I don't want to be like that. That's a miserable life. And I wish that I could help her do something like to make it stop. But I can't. So just know that I don't talk about it. I try not to talk about any of this stuff anymore, but I don't talk about it and I don't talk about her because I don't want to make it worse on her. But if I wasn't concerned about what this is doing to her, oh, I'd bring the full wrath of every bit of Italian I have in my bones.
Yes.
And I ignore it because if not, I'll go full blown fucking crazy, and nobody wants that. And I just want Angela to be okay.
That might be kind of fun.
Just leave her the fuck alone. Like, just
That's kind of what
leave her
I'm
the fuck
for.
alone. Like like all Italian, Philly. I mean, these people have to know about me since they do nothing but talk about. I'm hearing people saying that they know my name specifically from these people. So then you should know like a little bit about me. And so care about sometimes I care about people other than me.
Only very few. There's only like 5 of us.
Yeah, and when I do, like I really do.
So okay,
want me to leave things on a happier? Want me to leave things on a happier note?
Well, you have to answer a question first before you leave anything. Number 1.
Okay.
Keith gave us a Dr. Pepper fund so that I can buy me a Dr. Pepper, and he wants to know record number of beers you've drank in one night. Thanks.
That would have been a long time ago, and I don't know, 6 or 7 probably.
That's it?
Yeah, that's probably. I've never. I've never been a big drinker. You know,
Ooh,
I do
boy.
uppers. I do coffee. Now, I did drink a whole bottle of champagne once,
The fact that
and
you
really
think
good.
that is like, oh, I drank a whole bottle of champagne is hilarious.
I will tell you that the most beers I've probably ever drank in a single night has to be over 20.
Oh, a bajillion %. That's why I don't drink anymore.
Yeah, I don't drink. I mean, I may have a drink of like my husband's drink, but no. I mean, I was a drinker and not root beer, even though I do like root beer, Mar. So don't.
Ew.
Yeah, I've never drunk. It either makes me sick or puts me to sleep. One of the two. I don't just generally get drunk. It's either sick or asleep. So
Yeah, that's
So
like
there's
normal.
no fun in that. I'm
That-
too
that-
old
that's-
now, though. I'm way too old for it. But Travis wants to know. So, how many glasses of red, Michael, in one night?
Uh-oh.
Well, in one night. I mean, my grandmother's 80th birthday at a really nice restaurant in Washington.
The fact that this needs a lead up is
actually did the Roman thing. It was probably 6. It was probably 7, and that was with a a brief break to go barf and come back between courses.
No. The fact that we needed like an explanation prior to giving an answer.
Yeah, there was a lead up to that. We had to have the whole story.
So how many glasses are in a bottle?
Bottles like 3.5, 4
glasses.
Well, I mean, these were big, red wine glasses. These were big glasses. So it was
you
more.
don't fill them halfway. You fill it to the tippy top.
Well, no, I mean, this is a restaurant, so these were big globe glasses that were maybe filled halfway, but they were, big glasses. I mean, and obviously the restaurant was doing it because they pushed the alcohol because that's where they make the most money.
You ever see that meme of the lady that's like, well, you'd have one glass of wine, and it's like this enormous glass. Oh, now I gotta find it. We gotta paste Michael's face.
Johnny Depp used to have mega pints. He used to have a mega pint.
There's drinks now that I don't even know about. I haven't drank since 2013.
So so what's your favorite name of a drink?
Mad Dog 2020.
Ew.
So,
I'm clearly kidding, but I mean.
So my wife and I went to Hawaii to get married and honeymoon all at once, sort of eloped.
I just made everybody throw up.
And the place we were staying, the pool bartender said that he'd invented this drink for Keith Richards. And we tried it. It was called a paralyzed parrot.
Oh, these were good.
A paralyzed? Was it a real parrot?
No, it was.
Oh God,
that's an old
not
joke.
Again.
Michael, sorry.
Not again.
That's an old joke from the lady who was selling
fake parents.
All right, so what's your good news, and then we're gonna say goodbye.
I mean, I can't be specific, but I just want to say for both the people who merely think that Rick didn't get a fair trial versus, and then also the people who think that Rick is innocent, that we're not quite sure what to do with it yet, but all kinds of really remarkable, amazing information is coming in and getting developed, and I'm not saying it's going to end up where everybody wants it to end up, but there are many, many reasons to be hopeful.
Yay!
I say to anybody who's hating and doing all this personal nonsense, I did not do it, Gray Space. That was sleuthy. I say, let's focus your energy into the right things and not the bullshit. That's where I'm at. That's my final thoughts. I love you guys. Thank you all for coming up. Thank you, Luke, for coming up earlier. I appreciate you guys and all your insights into helping me make sense of the senseless. And I say, move on, move forward. Don't look back. Keep being you. Keep being the best. As always, I know you guys have 1,000 other places you could spend your time, and you choose to spend your time here with us, and I love you for it. I will see you guys in the morning for Karen Reed, day 22. And Michelle, I will answer that question at some point. I will not forget it. Just FYI, I know that I owed you an answer. All right,
What?
you guys, love
Hey,
you. Bye.
Sleuthie,
What?
you got a minute to talk?
A minute, probably.
Okay, I'll call you. So, bye.
All right, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no